Good evening. Welcome to the show. I'm �𝐄𝐏, and this is Greg Dolphin.
How we doing?
How you doing, man? You all right?
All good, brother. We've got a hell of a show.
Yeah, we've got a big one lined up today. Good evening, everybody. I see we've got 100 people in the YouTube already. The chat's absolutely fucking exploding. So, holla. Holla. If you're watching over at Facebook, get over to YouTube now. The best quality stream there, best audio, best chat, everything. Get over there, guys. It's really the place to be. So we've got a big show today. We've got 3 legends of the UK scene joining us. They're just doing their makeup at the moment. So we'll bring
four, Jeff. 4, Joe.
Why? Who's the 4th one? I didn't know about a 4th one. Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Fucking hell.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. I'm breaking my sobriety today for the show, so cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Don't leave me hanging. Cheers. Okay, so we've got Scorpio, producer, Ribbz on. We're going to talk about the history of UK hardcore techno from 1989 through to present day. We've got thousands of flyers to go through, loads of music to go through, loads of embarrassing stories and shit. So without further ado, let's bring the guys in. Hey, easy now.
Ooh.
How you doing, guys?
Sup, internet? How's it going?
Yeah, good, man. How you doing? How you doing, Simon? You all right?
Grubbies!
Hello, world. How are you?
Simon, you're muted, mate. I can't hear you.
Mutant, mate. Come on.
Microphones.
Yeah, sorry. Evening, everyone. Start already.
Yeah, man. All right, Sean, how are you doing, man?
All good, thank you. All good. Just getting over the nerves, but we're cool.
Oh, don't worry about nerves. We're on the show. It's fine. Everything's going to be great.
It's like chatting shit in the back room at North.
Yeah, exactly.
Just if you can hear it.
So I'm just going to give some shouts in the chat. I see there's loads of people, so I don't think I'm going to nail everybody. So shout to Cam, obviously, Easy, Ant Tones, Jay Tracid, Dean Devastator, Estia, �𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄, Mike Tolan, Gerda's in, Gemma, 𝐁𝐋𝐿, Devastator,
Winnie,
wow.
Bonesy.
Bonesy's in. Yeah, all the
Chloe's
in.
Everyone's in.
All crew in house.
So before we move forward, I guess we should do some how are you doing and what have you been doing. So we'll start with you, Simon. What's going down in your world at the moment?
Still surviving lockdown, really, but worked all the way through. Yeah, it's been a bit of a culture shock for all of us, I think. You know, I'm quite lucky I got a job, really, and not had to worry like Lucas mainly and Greg. You know, I know you're still working, but you know, I can't even imagine what the last year's been like for them lot. So
yeah,
you know,
bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
Look, things are starting to pick up again, so bookings are coming again. So
hopefully it's a case of, you know, get back on with it now and no like backward steps. Hopefully they got it right this time.
Yeah, man. Luke, what's going down with you?
Everything. Always, all the time, all of it. Well, you know, I've not left the internet alone. I got a job as a radio DJ employed by Prospect because that's just how it is. It's weird. I should be looking forwards. I'm looking to that because I'm looking at myself on the monitor, so maybe I should just get rid of that out of the way. Yeah, just still being the DJ producer, and thank God I was like properly self-employed and kept my shit together because at least the government have kept me alive. I fucking hate them, but whatever. But here I am still doing it, and I'm still going to do it, and I'm a 30-year practitioner. I'm not going to change my fucking job for no one and nothing because this is all I can do, okay? So that's what I'm doing.
All right. Sean, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Been DJing quite a lot online. Still buying tunes, down on my techno still.
I've been buying tunes.
I've been playing a lot on Love Summer Radio for Dark Nights. And just generally, I mean, the thing is, I work from home anyway, do you know what I mean? So when the whole thing kind of happened, it didn't really disrupt me as such. So life goes on. But yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I'm glad to be here. Glad to see you guys in the chat room.
Humans, hi humans, how's it going?
Yeah, exactly.
Hello,
yeah, so thanks for having us. Just like
Totally awesome.
No problem. It's my pleasure. Can I just get a quick microphone check off the chat, please? Because I've got somebody messaging me saying that I'm really quiet and everybody else is really loud. So could you let me know in the chat what it's like? Oh, no, by the way, I've improved the chat, so the latency between us and you should be just a few seconds. So,
Well, that'd be handy.
I'm super quiet apparently. So I'm going to turn myself up.
That's a good thing, right?
Shut up, Gregory. Right, is that better? Luke's way too loud, apparently. Can you turn yourself down a little bit, Luke?
There we go. All right, see, I did say earlier, guys. I was like, guys, am I really loud?
No one turns Luke down.
All right, so
Is that a little? There's a little less.
A little bit less.
A little bit less. More less. Fucking.
Don't touch my fucking mixer.
Innit? I'm going to hear myself in a minute. Is that better?
Yeah, I think
1
so.
2 1 2. Less
Still
edgy.
loud.
Still loud. So I lean back a bit. Oh, now you're really loud in my. See, if I just sit back like this, then that's kind of. Is that copable with? Can you
You'll
bear with that?
last like that for about 30 seconds before you
If I
move.
turn it any more down, I'll just be muted, and there's no
Yeah,
point.
that's better. Right, I think we're sorted now. Right, I'm gonna run through what we're gonna do in the show. So, I set this show up thinking it was a really cool idea, and I'm sure it is a really cool idea, but I didn't realise the amount of work that I let myself in for, because I decided that I was going to try and get all of the flyers and as much content as I could from all of everything, and what started off as a little idea turned into like a monster. So what we're going to do today is we're going to cover the history of hardcore techno, and we're going to go through from 1989 to present day in, I think, 4 or 5 main chunks. So we're going to talk about the beginnings, 1989 through to 1993. Then we're going to talk about what I consider to be the golden years, 1994 through to 1998. Then we've got the millennial dickheads that came in, like me, who were the third generation, if you like. And then we've got a fourth from 2004 through to 2009, and then 2010 to present day. I've tried to gather as much info as I can to support our conversations. If I've missed anything, I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't do any fucking more on this, so apologies in advance if anybody's flyers aren't featured, whatever.
I'll be honest, mate. You've probably done too much, to be fair. There's just so much to trawl through. Let's just,
You're going to be still be here at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, Nick, Greg. That's what I thought. You said you created a monster, man. I think, you know.
If we can't get through it, we'll have to cut it and we'll go for a second show in it. So whatever.
Nah, just get the Garys out about midnight.
Right, so don't forget to like the stream, and please, guys, share the stream if you can. I'm actually going to do a competition in the middle of the show for some tickets, so keep your eye out for that. But while we're here right now, if you could take the time to share the stream on your social medias, get as many people in here as you can, that would be awesome. And drop us a like and a subscribe on our YouTube. All right, so let's get started, shall we? I guess we should start with the beginnings. 1989 through to 1993. Got this. This is the biggest chunk that we have, actually. We're talking your guys' beginnings. So we're talking Universe for you, Luke. We're talking Xenos, and Omnitech. Who wants to start here? Because I think Skelter actually started and Revelation started in 89, but Universe also started in 89, and so did Xenos. So I guess it's you, Sean. I guess Xenos 89.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. Well, the Xenos days
well,
is
actually,
where I
before we
started.
start, sorry to jump over you. Before we start, can you three
That's all
guys
good.
just paint the picture here where we are in 89? What's happening with music? Because we're going to talk about the start of hardcore techno, but we're coming out of the rave scene, the house scene, etc. Can we paint the picture of
Acid house?
Yeah,
Acid house.
Can we paint the picture of what things are like right now?
Well,
Who wants to take this then? Let Sean take this because he's got a better historical standpoint. I mean, that's we all have. But yeah, you say if you're going to say, like you say, you're starting with '89 and what was like more, because well, my first big raves, although apart from being in London, like the first eye openers I had were down in Plymouth, where Sean was, and that was, I wouldn't say that was probably the beginning of 1990 maybe, or mid 1990. We'd already like
about 1990. Yeah, basically, I got introduced to you. It was after my Zenith days. It was like the tail end because we basically, my old DJ partner, Simon De Bruin, we were part of the SAS and we used to play at Zenith. Now, it's quite interesting because when I was thinking about the memories about it, it seemed like I did that for years. Do you know what I mean? But it wasn't years at all. It was literally 1 year. Do you know what I mean? It was so intense.
Every week or
every week, every Friday, Saturday it was. For a whole year. And then we graduated out of there and music started changing, a lot more UK influence. And we got offered the Warehouse. And at that point, I'm into my rave and my acid house, but I'm into more of that Joey Belgium, that Belgium sound. It's a bit harder. And a bit more driving. And it does a lot more. We couldn't really get hold of the breaks down there at that point. Do you know what I mean? To like what London and stuff had. So we were dealing with like the 4/4 Belgium sound. And we got given the Warehouse, and so we decided to put on some parties in there. And we kind of opened the doors. We kind of then had the budget to get people like Frank the Wolf and Joey Belgium in. And because of the scale of the parties, I mean, this one here, as you can see, this is one where I'd met Luke at the Joey Beltram night, and so I set this other night up and booked Luke to do it along with Simon Scorps, and we had Richard 𝐓𝐿 on there. That's actually the 𝐓𝐿 twin from Nuki. You know what I mean? So that's before.
Fucking hell, nice.
And we got
my first gig in Plymouth was with this kooky dude who looked really spooky and didn't speak to anyone, who played before me, and I'd never heard music like it. No, and that was DJ 𝐓𝐿's twin. What an opening! It's like, wow.
He went in there with something like 165 BPM, and we were playing 125.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? That was our standard, and he came in and did that, and we were like, what the fuck? So that's how I got to meet Luke, and I met Simon a long time before that because.
That was Sorrel.
I started putting on parties. I started putting on parties in Plymouth, and this woman called Sorrel, who worked in H&B, told me about this guy in Torquay called Simon, who was doing a similar kind of thing. So we kind of hooked up and started doing club swaps. So I'd get Simon over to play at my clubs and vice versa, and we've just known each other ever since, really. And then from doing those parties on a regular basis, because we were entrenched in it, when Universe started scouting around because they were doing a party outside of Bath, and they started basically scouting around the southwest of the UK for people who were doing a similar kind of thing. Myself and I'm in the Brewing SAS got booked, and then from then onwards it was just just how we just carried on working for him.
That was your in.
Yeah, properly in. So that is the start. There's a lot more to that. There's a lot more to that Plymouth story.
I'll interject because I'm originally come from sort of Shepton Mallet next to Glastonbury, and I went to college in a place called Street where I met a very dear friend of mine, lifelong friend called Dave, Mr. D, Dave Pardue. He's the first guy I ever saw with a pair of Technics, and he was the guy in Glastonbury who put those first parties that I played at a place called the Assembly Rooms. He just wanted to do it because he knew about the acid house scene. I was still a b-boy, man. I was like hardcore hip-hop. I didn't give a fuck about house music then. But he had a pair of Technics. And so a hardcore hip-hop guy, Technics were everything. So I was like a puppy dog. I went to the house parties. I was just watching him. I was soaking the music in as well. So, there was him doing that. But the Dave then, from being in Street, he went from there down to Plymouth And so then him being down there, and he would call me, it was like, dude, down here, you got to come and meet these guys. There's a thing going on down here. And, you know, I was still a bit wet behind the ears by then. Then we went to one rave in London with Dave, which was my first energy, which was like, not really my thing, but again, life-changing, because that night I realized this whole thing's being controlled by a DJ, and man, I can do that. I've been doing it in my bedroom for 4 years already. And Dave knew it as well. So again, when that connection between Dave and Sean, Dave as Mr. D, he played on that same night as 𝐸𝐹𝐋 as I did. So there was that connection. And then Sean was like, yeah, get Luke down. I played one time. Sean see me and he was like, okay, that's it. So that was my connection with Plymouth done then. And then from there on, they came up this way. I moved out of Shepton, met my lifelong partner now, Melanie, who's downstairs telling me my mic's too fucking loud. I love you, babe. Keep caning me if it is too loud. Honestly, I've got no idea. But yeah, I moved up here together because we were then in Bath, and then I met the Universe guys, and yeah, we all just all came together, and then we realised, wow, okay, we are in this together, and that's it. Let's go forwards.
Nice. So following on from that, I guess not too long after that, you got booked at Universe then, Luke. Right?
Yeah, so I guess Sean is the SAS. He would have. I went to the first one as a raver, but you know, I just wanted to get in, man. I wanted to find out who was doing it. I needed to show my face. I'm here as a raver, but I don't want to be here as a raver, man. I want to fucking play. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm here, but I want to be here. You know, so I think Sean and Simon did that first gig, and then after that, you know, yeah, I made that connection. And then it was that second one. It wasn't Mind, Body, Soul. I don't remember it, but that first Universe I played.
Into Orbit up the hill.
It was. No, I think it was the one after Into Orbit. It was Into Orbit that Sean and Simon maybe played, and the one after, the cassette went out where I was on one side and Groove Rider was on the other. And back then I was playing breakbeat, you know, so that was my aim. But then everything changed when we got to Mind, Body, Soul and the Universe, which was the gig after, and that's when I played techno.
At that point, I was resident MC for Universe.
Right, so there you go. Exactly.
I would have been.
Sean was already in. Sean was already in. He was there already.
So it was just as time went on, people got booked, and do you know what I mean? It just
Sean was the MC. I played. Sean was MC for me.
I knew who they were.
He knew me. So he totally, and he knew I was coming from that Southwest techno thing already. So we knew something was going to happen, but we didn't know what. Totally.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out, Joe, that the night that Sean ran in Plymouth was pretty much him and Simon all night long, and that's what made that special. They created their own vibe in there.
Totally.
What SAS was Sean and Simon.
Yeah,
exactly.
Sean and Simon
Right.
is stood for.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what it stood for, and it was good because we played what we wanted. It's almost like that situation of where you create your own classics. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got your own following. Do you know what I mean? They trust you your judgment with tunes. You'd go in there with a good selection, and we had a fat selection. We were constantly down the record shops.
So were you DJing and MCing, Sean?
I wasn't actually the MC at that time. No, I was a DJ.
Sean really was a DJ.
But the thing is, because of the way the whole Plymouth thing is, it's like you have these fun pubs. So the guys are playing upfront tunes, well, upfront-ish, and they're talking on the mic. So that is standard procedure. You know what I mean? So when we kind of took it on, that's exactly what we did. We did exactly the same thing, but we did it kind of youngster way. Okay, we're going to talk to you how we would talk to you and start bring out the mic and all that. So yeah, we were just kind of just doing what we did. But the rave scene was a different kind of thing. It was like DJ slots were taken. Do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of went in as an MC. Kind of thought I'd try and bide my time. But 25 years later, DJ.
Your microphone volume's a little bit quiet, Sean.
All right, sorry. Yeah, but like 25 years later on, still the MC. I mean, I got into MCing basically. Do you know what I mean? It was good vibes. The jocks are good. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, got into it. But I kind of rolled with that for a while. I still bought my tunes and I still DJ at places that I want to play at. You know what I mean?
And Simon, back at this time, Scorpio was two people as well, right?
Yeah. Originally, that's where the name came from. It was me and my mate John DJ together, and both being Scorpios. It was really the choice of name there.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
So, but you know, we sort of went out. How long? Probably 2 or 3 years we DJed together, and then sort of went our separate ways. And as much really musically as well. I think John still, you know, he still loves his, you know, old school and acid house now. You know, that was his thing, but I don't think he really got the more hardcore edge of it. Might be wrong there.
So
really?
Tell us about how you got this set at Universe and how this went, because this is kind of, in your words, the start of UK hardcore techno. So,
well, for you know, this is it. I'd like to sort of correct. Yeah, totally for me. But you know, it's okay. So I already had sort of my what was borderline residency. I think after My Body Soul, that really nailed it. But you know, I had that. This gig was coming. You know, everyone was playing breakbeat music. You know, and I wasn't actually from around these parts. So you had, you know, guys like Diane, Jody, who was Sub Love, who were, you know, these guys lived in Bristol, so they were in record shops daily, you know, and if you ain't got record shops close to you daily, you can't fight that, you know. So it's like, whatever I do to get the best tunes I think I'll ever have, I won't have them. So how am I going to just do something to be different? You know, I was almost fed that line due to the fact that with this gig, you know, Universe brought in that guy Tanif because they were really down with that European edge, and Tanif was one of the Mayday DJs, so they brought him in playing the main stage. I was actually playing main stage as well, you know, and he was the only techno guy on the stage, and it was purely the thing of, all right, well, I'll just play techno as well, just so that it doesn't seem he's like a lone soldier, you know. It needs to be more context. I'll give him some backing. Okay, the techno I got maybe not the freshest, but sure as shit no one else is going to play it. That's a fact. So I just went with it, and yeah, that set even for me was only 30 minutes. I did it. Started with that goddamn 2001 A Space Odyssey thing. Sean's on the mic. He starts getting hyped out of his nuts. The atmosphere is, you know, before I even knew what was going, the atmosphere was already out of control. And I just start with this Die Witness thing. It was like a fucking a nuclear bomb went off. It was a nuclear bomb.
Let's listen.
It was shocking.
Let's not the whole set, obviously.
We're just going to listen to the intro there.
Yeah, man, because this.
Right, yeah, go on then.
Easy,
go on
bad
then.
boy.
I got goosebumps. I actually played it on 45 to make it not last so fucking long as well. No one knows that, but you do now. Off an album.
That's you on the mic, Sean, as well.
I'll tell you, I mean, I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
Before his balls dropped.
My hair's standing up in there.
1992, game over.
Dude, those whistles were loud.
Yeah, man, no
Mate,
shit.
they were fucking loud.
Well, when Luke turned up, I was there all day. Do you know what I mean? Properly hyped up. And then Luke turned up, but obviously, and I know the job. Do you know what I mean? It's always a plus when you know the DJ. I'm like, Luke, what's your mission? And he told me what his first tune was. I was like, okay, cool. But then went up on stage and just had to ad-lib everything. And then again, that's me. Anyhow, I ain't got anything written down. I ain't got a clue where it's coming from till I step on that stage. And so that there was just me just trying to work my way through his set. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, once you got the reaction, it was like, yeah, on the go, kind of. Very cool.
You know, I also like to get something straight. Okay, so, you know, okay, I was the first one on stage, definitely did it all. That was it. I was playing this music, and therefore after I played this music, but you know, we must absolutely name check the man like fucking Dennis Murray, Easy Groove, because he was the tyrant round here. You know, he was playing Gabba before everyone, but you know, it was confusing to me because he'd never play full sets of it. You know,
he used to end with it, and you're like,
totally, and it would do my brain. It was like, man, is he that or not that? Like, so you know, I mean, both me and Simon, we will definitely agree. You know, I remember seeing Dennis playing like Stickhead records in the warehouse in 1992, and I was like, what the fuck is this noise? Like, I couldn't get my head around it. I was like, what? Yeah,
it was almost that.
That means 2 years later, for fuck's sake. But honestly, Dennis, you know, for whatever happened to him, you know, there's maybe some different things. But he played hardcore techno here in the UK before anyone I'd heard play it, even before Universe, you know. But then Universe made it real, and then me playing actual full sets. This was it. This was me doing this in amongst a bunch of like breakbeaters. It was okay, new phase. And you know, it was like 10 minutes into that set, and my set Universe was only 30 minutes. But you know, 10 minutes in, Paul Shorey, like the promoter, he comes screaming in. He's almost like sliding on his knees, like shaking his arms, going, "This is it! This is fucking it!" You know, God rest his soul, I'll never forget it. So when you get a reaction like that from the promoter, you're going, "Okay, man, this is fucking it. Like, this is it." And then the phone calls after totally proved it, and that's it. Okay, into the future.
They said
That night the DJ producer was born, and like Sean was there to watch it happen. It was just fucking bonkers, mate.
they set such a standard, didn't they, Universe, really early on for like good quality production.
It's very high tech.
Everything was top end. They didn't budget on any of their you know, budget was no object on their lineups.
No, they didn't cheap out.
They did their research and everything. And for me, out of all those initial promoters, they came in and went, right.
Yeah, environment was such a thing for them as well, wasn't it? You know, they really made a
with all the circus irritants.
It was bonkers, man. Something else, really. Yeah, you know.
And so after that set, what happened for you, Luke? I remember I interviewed you
I played. Yeah, well, I played. This is it. That it was done by the sort of next gig for Universe. That was maybe even the first tribal gathering where they got a lady called Jane Howard, who ran the Knowledge Club in London. Paul Shorey knew her well, so we got her to actually stage manage, and her doing that meant she brought to the main stage, she brought like Dave Clark, Colin Dell, Colin Faber, like Robert Linier from The Source played live, CJ Boland played live. It was like a fucking, all of a sudden I was in the absolute upper echelons of full flight, like mainstream underground UK techno. I was like, fucking hell, I'm in it. It was overwhelming, you know, all these records of people I've been buying, all of a sudden you're trying to think of a fucking word to say to them. You're like, Jesus, this is too much. But it was everything you wanted, and it was like, okay, I may be alone when they're all gone, but this fucking means something, and I know it does, because this music I've been buying comes from a bigger place than just the island that we're on, which means there's a bigger signal to be sent. You know, I knew there's a bigger signal being sent from the records we were playing. It was like, I knew there's a bigger world. And Universe enforced it for us. It was like, okay, this is a thing. Like, you know, it may be happening in Berlin, but we got a little dose right here going on as well. Yeah. Mayday, whatever, it was happening here too, in its own niche way. But you know, because they had good, what's the word? Media connections. You know, Mixmag were all over it, and like I said, you had the Laurent Garniers and everyone involved later. It was, yeah, dude, it was fucking quite high profile, man. Sick.
Nice.
But I was, you know, was playing more hardcore than the techno I should have been playing already. You know, it was hardcore to me already.
Greg, was Luke already on your radar at this point then? Because what were you doing at this point in time? You're muted, Greg, by the way. Greg, you're muted.
I am indeed. Yeah, I started hearing the Universe tapes around then, I think. They came out, what were they, 90, 91?
This is it. The Mind Body, that first one, Mind Body Soul, was 92, but another really big one for me and Sean was the Big Love one, the year after in 93, where like Lenny D, he played like straight after me, and that was even more fucking Euro and even more Adam and Eve records and all of those, you know, proto-acid, man, fucking hell. That, by 93, you probably would have definitely heard those tapes, and that was, that music already was what we all wanted, wasn't it? Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I was more up in the north and doing like Manchester and Shelley's and kind of all that stuff, like Stoke and all that way, and you know, going to record shops like almost every day, or you know, you just get all the new releases and you check out the tape packs, you'd come home with loads of tapes, and you know, that's just how you rolled every day, wasn't it? Pretty much like looking for records, finding tapes. Hearing what was going on.
I was 8 or 9 years old at that point in time, but I've got tapes from 92. 92. I'm 10 years behind you guys, aren't I? So, yeah, I've got tapes from those times, so that's when I actually started listening to hardcore. So it's...
Yeah, okay. It's all relative, man. Come on.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm involved. I'm involved. So, let's not dwell on it too much, because we've got shitloads to go, and we're
totally
at the start. So, around that time, Skelter started, right?
well, let's say
Skelter started.
Skelter did start. Skelter started in '89, but I don't think any of us here really got involved till about what 94.
Yeah,
I think it was 94, wasn't it?
95 for me.
I might have been 95 for me.
I think I can't remember. It's either end of '94 for me or beginning of '95. One or the other.
I think you're more like sort of after that Universe sort of era was more sort of us was like the Southwest from Universe happening just blew up. I know there was Obsession at, was it West Point? Sean was around. Was it them that did that? Or Fantasia did it in '92.
Fantasia did the West Point.
Yeah. So the South.
Quiet, by the way.
Am I? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why, because I turned it down when you were playing tunes earlier. That better?
Sorry, Simon. Yes, that's better. Go on, Simon.
Yeah. So you had like Obsession, Fantasia down at West Point, Universe up at Bath, around covering the Bath and Bristol area, and the Southwest just blew up all of a sudden. And I think a lot of that was it had some decent size venues for putting on parties. Really, they had like 2 amazing venues in Plymouth within 50 yards of each other, like both old theatres, cinema, Cornwall Coliseum as well, and like the big sort of West Point Arena at Exeter. So it was pretty served with venues that were, you know, capable of hosting it and also willing to host it.
Yeah, around that time, actually, we'll talk about Skelter and the Technodrome a little bit later then, because I think it's more prevalent a little bit later. Yeah,
totally.
But around this time, we did have the start of Dreamscape, right? So I've got some flyers on Dreamscape. Obviously, everybody's going to know this one. But yeah, Dreamscape, man. Fucking what a legendary design that is, first of all. A legendary organisation. What involvement did you guys have with Dreamscape?
I can't, you know, mine came later. Mine was definitely later. Like, I didn't play any of the early, for sure. Like, I mean, there's that big one. Which was the freezing New Year's Eve one that we played, Simon? Because that tape of mine.
Was that the one? That was the one with the
97 or 98.
Internet link up to Australia, wasn't it, or something that they were doing that New Year's Eve?
I can't even remember. Sounds very far fetched at the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it didn't work on a 56k modem.
Yeah, fucking hell.
I think Murray headed down to the southwest, didn't he?
Clarkey was Clarkey was the Dreamscape resident, wasn't he? He absolutely was right from the start. Like, that was his ballpark, man. And yeah, I think maybe us playing Skelters, me playing the Skelters is maybe what me got to play the Dreamscape later on. That's why I think it was probably either 96 or 97.
I met
having so much this year gets cloudy and you fucking look just ridiculous, don't you?
It's putting it in an order. Like, after the Universe parties, like 𝐓𝐇𝐄 from Dance Planet was pretty big. He was block booking lots of dates down in Plymouth, in Cornwall. I know he was doing like Aston Villa Leisure Centre as well, but I think it was the fact that they were doing parties then attracted other promoters down that would look, because I remember first meeting Murray and Dave Prattley at one of the Dance Planets down at Cornwall Coliseum. So that was my first interaction with Murray and Dave Prattley.
Totally.
I know then Murray had quite strong. Darren Mastervibe was from up around Northampton area and had moved to Cornwall, I believe. And so that sort of Southwest Clarkey Dreamscape thing is sort of a chain that way, isn't it, really? That's how we met up with them. And they were down, Rich was going down to Cornwall and playing at the Shire Horse, probably very early on, even before we did. So that's the sort of Dreamscape connection down here.
I think my first venture to Dreamscape was this one.
With Dennis.
We just posted up, which is like number 6? I think that's the one where number 6. It's quite interesting because like
that 92, 93.
But we were doing lots of because the Southwest was busy. We had Viber Live, which was like
show us the flyer
we
again,
had
Sean. I'll bring it up.
Ecstatic,
Alpha, Wasp Factory. We had
the first one, or is
number
it the one
6.
where they
number 6.
Yeah, 93.
This one here.
I bet they sold so many of those tape packs,
dude. That was
no idea.
That was my first one. I was very grateful.
One there,
yeah.
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 Oh, I didn't fucking
Like everybody I know had that tape pack.
Yeah, that was cool.
Everyone I know had that flyer on their wall.
The original flyer goes for loads now. They've done
is it?
fucking
You mean
t-shirts
this
and
one?
everything, man.
Yeah, you loaded, Sean. You sell them online tonight.
Yeah, they do this one too. Somebody asked in the chat, wasn't there a story about the design on this? Yeah, it was from Science magazine or something, if I recall. That original design was from Science magazine.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that online the other day. It was.
There's Dreamscape 6. Look,
Ensom said he was there.
Pensum.
Yeah, this is the one where I that was cool, man. That's when I walked across the car park and told Carl Cox that Raven was going to be in my life now.
Really?
Oh man,
Well, you know what kind of day I had.
dude, you rave hippie. Honestly.
I'm still here. Do you know what I mean?
man. Fucking right on, dude. Rave is my life, man.
Yeah, dude.
That's
So,
so-
you know, those words drop out of your mouth. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe I said
You weren't lying.
No, he wasn't. He was absolutely right, though, mate.
It's the truth, though. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
serious.
Someone in the chat wants us to fast forward to Billy Bunter.
Huh?
Fucking hell! I've got anything on Billy
Just saying.
Bunter.
Why?
Why?
That's proper. I'm confused.
think he's
That's proper confused me. That is.
I'm sure Billy Bunter. I mean, like looking at Billy Bunter's timeline, he was doing his similar kind of thing back in London town.
In London, of course.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So if you really wanna, that's. I mean, like it's things were happening.
We're
in parallel.
talking from a southwest perspective here, aren't we?
Absolutely.
This is about our trajectory into the world.
Oh, it's about everything, really. The whole.
Yeah, well, this is it. All in,
It's all
but it all in.
about you, Luke.
But no, it starts down here though, and you started down here, mate. Are you silly or what? Come on, where are we going? What are we doing?
So
we get to?
were talking about Dreamscape.
Yeah, we are,
but you,
for
and
sure.
You talked about the 𝐇𝐀𝐏𝐿𝐼. So I thought we
Yeah.
could talk a little bit about Shirehorse. The Shirehorse was a venue, but there were lots of events there. But it was quite significant in the early
Hardcore.
days, right?
It was
For
quite hardcore. It was
Very
quite hardcore.
hardcore. It was the only place I've seen people screaming at HMS and Lofty, calling them pussies, and is that like the best they've got? And it's like harder. And it was like, yeah, it was whatever you threw at them, they would take, and it wouldn't be enough. Yeah, every single time, it's that the Shirehorse were so open-minded to all forms of techno. You go down there and you'd have Ramos. Ramos would be playing on the techno nights. It wasn't just all hardcore techno by any means, but they would just take everything. But they would never. It was never too extreme for them, and it was
Master
almost,
Vibe.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
It was
MC Marley.
just and one of those clubs. It was an old. I think it was like a old pub in the middle of nowhere on the outskirts of St Ives. It didn't
Proper in the middle of nowhere, man. Driving there from up here was like,
Yeah.
where
It was
are we
like-
going, dude?
Yeah, it's almost like when you walk in that pub at American Werewolf in London, and
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long way for Groove Vibe and Ray Keith to travel, you know?
And there was no GPS or anything then, was there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You had maps in your car, didn't you? And you were
Yeah,
like,
dude, seriously, honestly, everyone knows I can't drive, but without my partner in crime, Miss Melanie McMillan, taking the reins, without her, I'd be nothing throughout all of this, and she put up with my shit. Yeah, no GPS, trying to read maps at 4 a.m, blind off me fucking overdosing on weed. It's fucking insane, mate. But she put up with my shit and we're
Overdosing on
still
weed.
together, totally just stoned out of my mind, trying to get us from A to B, trying to read where we're going, understanding a place we've never been to in the pitch black. Dude, incredible. But we got to all of these places. I said it, except the first time I turned up to the Sanctuary, driving up and down V7 Saxon Street, up and down that was the first time we had a very large argument. So I blame it on that place. Yeah, we can get into that later. We can get into that later as well. But no, Melanie was absolutely my saviour driving
to that venue.
for sure. But St Ives that is about as deep into the UK as you can get. That is off piste. But when you got there, the reward was fucking. Oh my!
What
is this?
A pub then or something?
It kind of was.
Yeah, you know, like a old school venue, like you'd have weddings or like
it was like a village hall, man.
Yeah,
like
sort of community centre, village hall. But
I've got one. I've got one across the road.
It was very much like, I still remember, like it was a bit the similarity from there as to when I went to Greg's on the first time I went. If that place had like double doors on the end of the building, and they used to open the doors and see all the steam just flowing out of there, and it was like that was the southwest version of your club, Greg. It was like because I still remember pulling up in Rill and going, "Wow, I wonder why they call it steam." And literally, you looked up, and that door out onto the balcony was just a chimney, wasn't it? It was so very, very similar clubs, but you know, different ends of the country.
Nice. And this is where Clarkey and Area 51 spawned from, I guess.
Wow.
Area 51 started a little bit later. I think it was 94, if I'm right.
195.
94.
Wasn't 94, 95.
Alpha Magic pushing out all the blame.
Oh, yeah.
This is it. 94 was that was such an exploding point for a lot of things.
Everything
I did my first record in 94. Like Bloody Fist as a label started in 94. Like 94 is. 94 is responsible. We're really close now. We're really close.
When did you open your record shop, Greg? What year?
94.
Yeah.
There you go. See, I'm not wrong, mate.
We've covered Dreamscape. Around this time was Dance Planet, Dance Paradise.
Okay, no. Wheel back. Dance Planet. This is Dance Planet. Now that is significant. Why is that significant, Joe? Why is Dance Planet significant now?
You tell me.
Well, that geezer, the other geezer in the chat here, wearing that blue T-shirt. Where did we first DJ?
That was our first back-to-back.
I think we first DJ'd back-to-back in 1994. There you go, more 94 in a Dance Planet.
Well,
I'm still unsure.
I thought you had this written down.
Yeah, didn't it, mate? Well, what happened to his?
He's trying to stretch out the 93 bit. I think that's what's happening here.
We hijacked him.
We're already in 94, and Joe's like, oh.
Come on, let's talk about the record shop.
I've done loads of work on 93. Wheel it in, guys. Come on. Mate.
All right, so let's talk about Rez then, because Rez started.
Yeah, okay, 91.
Rez is a big deal, right?
And I think me and Sean and John Lewis, we went together and we went to play Resurrection. That probably was in 1993, wasn't it? I think that was. Which one was
really early on? I remember.
Res event. I can't think was it. So we're going to get roasted if we get this wrong. But my mind is ruined.
Somebody in the chat will help you.
Yeah.
In the chat will let us
Well, it was
know.
that one where Cole Cox and Laurent Garnier played. Even Richie Horton was there. The GTO DJ squad. Like I met Lee Newman, like my heroic heroine that night. Meeting GTO. That was oh my god. But it made it feel real because they made us feel like we were part of it, and just like, wow, we are. Oh wow, man, we're part of this. We might be Southwest, but look, this is cool.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, Rez, that was quite key to bolstering us for sure.
Rez started in Newcastle, and then it moved up to Scotland.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we came in later. We were out of towners coming in later, but late enough. But that's. I think I first met Lenny D. No, we met Lenny at Universe. So maybe that was 94, 93, 94. It's quite possible because we were playing Revelation 93 to 94. Were we not? I can't remember. Somebody help me.
You were Revelation. Revelation was quite early 93. You were playing that.
Okay, yeah, that was like 92 to 93, really. Oh, we're going backwards and forwards in time. I feel sick. The TARDIS is broken, guys. What's happening?
So how many times did you guys play at Rez then, or have you played at Rez?
Played a few. Definitely played a few. They were all immense. That enforced hardcore techno into me. It's like, yeah, this music is right. Look, everyone else is doing it. It's like, you're not alone here. Look at this. This
Everyone
is hardcore techno land.
This is
was
the
certified. Okay, then that was the one. Yeah, me and Sean played that night. I played my Edge. Oh no, that would have been 94 because I made the Edge record in 1994. So sorry guys, you fail. Yeah. I win. But yeah, I started. And that was but that, you know, that
it was 94.
yeah, but Joe as well.
Greg.
Joe, that Res set, actually, that kind of encapsulate my confusedness as well at that time, because, you know, I was a techno guy. I was a techno guy, but I was becoming this hardcore techno guy, and I was struggling with the two. So if you listen to that Res set, you know, even the Edge record, you know, one side is like kind of Germanic hard trance, and the other side's fucking cut and paste hardcore techno. And I just didn't know what it was, but, you know, techno roots was in me, but I wanted something fiercer and more. And so, but that set, it starts with all that techno stuff and just goes into like, well, yeah, Dutch Gabba and hardcore. So
I think that's
the beginning of my split. It doesn't it? I mean, you were doing exactly the same as well, Greg, isn't it?
It's where everything was going. All this kind of the early
transitions. They really started
up to this kind of big hardcore techno thing.
For sure.
We didn't really know what it was, but we were getting sucked into it, right?
Germanic hard trance was kind of getting more up tempo, and then you had that crossed with like, you know, Dutch records. The bass drums were getting beefier, but the tempos were kind of the same.
Yeah.
And because you sort of come from a more classic, you know, techno background. You know, I was playing trance records, not really considering them trance at the time, but if you heard them now, they would definitely be trance. You know, it was a real mix of where is this music? It was like forming in front of our eyes, but there was these different variants. I just, you know, kick drums became stronger. That became a thing over time. At that point, it was a mix of everything. And yeah, I was, you know, even me playing Skelters, where I play techno every once in a while because I still loved it. But hardcore was pulling me along, but I didn't want to forget the significant part of my other, you know. It's a weird headspace, but that all stems from 1994, and that's the beginning of the genre forming. We're close though, aren't we?
We're tickling on it. Could you turn your mic down a little bit more, because people are still messaging me saying that you're too much generally.
you had all this other stuff like Masculine United and all that stuff. Like, we are coming, and when you heard that stuff, you were like, that's the hardest thing I've ever heard in my life. You know, there was these kind of things that were happening that were like, we'd had all these kind of like these rave years, but now these things were happening. We're like, that's the hardest thing, or that's the fastest thing, or that's the most extreme thing. And that was kind of pushing a lot of people towards different kinds of styles that weren't them so ravey kind of sounds. They wanted this more extreme kind of vibe from it.
Yeah. It was finding the big kick tunes, and you know, it wasn't like there was an abundance of tunes to search through, was it? It was like you were having to find the tunes, and that was even where you were getting to the stage of you found a tune, but it wasn't fast enough, and we were ripping the lids off the decks in the club, and you know, it's like most people were taking screwdrivers just to take the platter off and wind as much BPM.
It became a thing, didn't it? We would we'd all take screwdrivers, turn up at clubs, pull the platters off, screw it up to +16, platter back on, and the people that had not seen this shit before, they'd be like, what is happening? What are you doing? And then you'd go in with something like a +16 and just smash the shit out of people, and they'd be like, what? This is just mental. And you just want to push it, wouldn't you? You're just pushing the envelope all the time.
That sound better? Is that less? Is that easy on you?
Have you got a compressor on?
I've turned it off. I turned it off.
Right,
I've literally just turned it off. I didn't realise it was fucking on. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Is that better?
I think it
don't
is.
Don't want to piss the chat off, Phil, or leave. Is it?
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry.
Yeah. Can we just get, before we continue, I don't want to piss everybody off in their ears. Can we just get a mic check in the chat? Does it sound okay? Am I loud enough now? And is Luke...
One, two.
Isn't Sean supposed to do the mic check?
Yeah.
Mic check.
And here we all are.
Mojo. All right, so Res, big. I'm going to touch on one more thing before we come out of 93, and that is Kinetic.
Oh.
Because Kinetic was a big deal, especially for somebody like me who's from Stafford. It was just up the road, you know. Kinetic was the buzz in my hometown.
I used to go every week back when I was raving. Before that it was Shelley's. I used to just pretty much go every week. It was either there or Manchester or wherever. You'd be like, then it was like there was so many nights on, right? You'd be out Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, maybe hanging out Sunday night or doing something, and then it'd be like your weekends would be 4 days out of the 7, wouldn't it? Pretty much.
Or 5.
Or 5, depending on how much staying power you've got. But Kinetic was a big part of it, and they were doing kind of really big nights, really big club, and certainly in the Midlands and the North, they were kind of pushing it to another level, really.
Yeah, they were always really diverse in their lineups as well. They pulled people that you were going, oh, who's this? And
Yeah.
you know, that Kinetic for me for a northern club was very much, you know, at the foreground of hardcore. I would have said.
Yeah,
during
definitely.
that period, I can't think of for a hardcore club that I could think up there that was bigger.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
That was
And
insane.
weekly and bigger. Yeah.
Weekly, yeah,
But everything was weekly then, right? Wasn't it?
yeah.
No, yeah, I suppose. Bloody hell.
Started on a Friday.
Imagine. I was born in the
Thursday
wrong
started,
era.
wasn't it?
Omnitech. We didn't talk about Omnitech, and we will get to 94. I promise. I know everybody's really excited for it, but this was your night, and I don't want to skip it, Simon.
Yeah, well, Omnitech, well, it was two friends of mine, really, that basically put the nights on, but, you know, close friends of mine. And it was just, there was, Sean and Luke were doing Revelation down there, but there was nobody else really catering for that harder side of music, really. And it was just, I had two really good friends that, you know, were up for putting a party on. And to be honest with you, they did, for the time, I think, push the boundaries quite well in Plymouth. Introducing techno down there, they brought again. I don't know who mentioned it. Lucas mentioned Knowledge before. It was massive in London with Colin Dale, Colin Favor, Brenda Russell, run by a girl called Jane Howard, and you know, they were basically trying to bring in some lineups that they wouldn't be seeing in Plymouth. They were having other big parties, but it wasn't more orientated towards the hardcore side of music. And I think Revelation at that time, Sean, I would agree, was a bit more, you know, more down the purist techno with.
Absolutely. I was going to say it was definitely more down the techno route. You know, I would be a fly in the ointment playing faster than maybe John at times would have liked. Mr. John Macwan, shout out to our promoter, dear friend. Yeah, sometimes I would have played a little bit more virulent, but yeah, it was a more purist techno affair for sure. So there was definitely an opening there.
Yeah, so it was quite nice to be able to, you know, have some friends that were willing to do the promotion, but also willing to listen, you know, on lineups and everything. And you know, the lineups that they put on were fantastic, really, for the time. You know, 𝐁𝐃𝐏𝐿, DJ Hype, Colin Favor, Trevor Rockcliffe. Do you get what I mean? It was a good introduction for Plymouth and techno. I think, you know, like some of the big guys at that time.
To be fair, I mean, Revelation did a similar kind of thing. Granted, they kind of focused more on techno, but they would still have the likes of 𝐁𝐃𝐏𝐿 down there.
Oh, totally.
Stuff like that. But there was less emphasis on a hardcore sound or even a rave sound.
This is it.
Or European techno kind of angle.
Sean, your mic keeps on getting cut off by the noise gate because you're falling outside of the zone. There you go.
How's that? Any better?
It's better when you're a bit closer, yeah.
Okay.
There's people in the chat saying Die Hard was running alongside Kinetic. Yeah, definitely. That was a big one.
Yeah, this is true.
For sure. I think
I just think Kinetic just probably. I know Die Hard was running then, and you know, Die Hard had a massive following, and again another weekly venue that was rammed to the rafters every single week. So you know, there's no denying the popularity of Die Hard. I just think personally for the size of the Leisure Bowl in Kinetic, and you know that how diverse their lineups were at the time, they were bang on the money of bringing in people you hadn't heard before. Delivered the goods and did that on a regular basis, and that's why that club is so legendary even now. So.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I'm going to give a couple of other shouts here before we move into the next. We got shout to Judgment Day. We haven't covered them. A lot of big nights by Basie G up north. There was TikTok running, Obsession, Fantasia had started at this time as well, obviously.
We're going to mention TikTok anyway.
Yeah. So I guess that brings us up to 93. I'm going to drop a bit of music and then we'll come into 94. So 1993, Technohead dropped The Passion.
Dune.
Fuck yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck's going on with Sean and Simon's chairs, man?
Old dining chair.
Everyone's ripping into your furry chair and your chair that's been stolen from a cafeteria, Simon.
It's
all right. I'll address that.
This isn't my studio. This isn't my studio chair. This is my office chair. And,
cheers. My chair's from the Big Brother. Do you know what I mean?
Sean, I think you're too loud now. Sorry.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah. Good. Right.
No, I was just speaking to Ant, and he said, "Can you turn the music up a little bit?"
Well, I couldn't because the mixer was rammed because the track was too quiet. Anyway,
those were the days.
Those were the days, yeah. So we're in 1994, guys.
Woo!
Yeah. So
let's leave my fairy chair alone, people.
Where's the 94 graphic? Hey.
There you go, 1994 to 1998. So 1994 was big for a number of reasons. We've touched on some already, but we had the start of Death Chant. The underground music had started the year before. Start of Semtex.
Cobby's in the house, by the way.
Oh, easy, Cobby. Start of Third Planet. Start of Area 51.
Well, loads of pops on your mic. Loads of pops on your mic again, Joe.
I don't think it's on the broadcast. I hope anyway. And also,
okay, I'll shut up then.
I'm not sure. Well, let me know.
Go on, carry on.
Also, I find it quite ironic that not only did all of these things happen in 1994, but the criminal justice bill happened in 1994 as well. So I'm keen to understand if they were all related in some way. What was it like living through that particular era? What was happening then? Because I have no memory of it whatsoever.
I don't think any of us do.
We do.
I was already DJing my way through it. You know, like that was. What was the original point of criminal justice people?
Well, it was stop more than illegals, wasn't it? Really, for
sure, totally. And you know,
we already had to go with those. Beats law, wasn't it?
Exactly. You couldn't have more than 30 people congregated together listening to music, which was basically a succession of repetitive beats. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, that's it. So
isn't that all music?
That's how they look at us now. But yeah, you know, back then that was they imposed that. But that was to kind of quash the rebellion of the free party movement.
It was all the free parties that were going off the big raves.
We were already DJing in the clubs and the raves and the legal raves. So, you know, we was aware it was going on. We sympathised, but we were already doing this, weren't we?
I just looked down the list here. Steam, Fusion, Nosebleed, DRT, Hardcore Heaven all started the same year as the criminal justice bill delegalised illegal parties. So you know,
so we just went under. We literally went underground. It's like, okay, just take the basements, go inside, and you don't go in the field. Let's just do that. Find some places that are put up with it, and let's do it. And that's what everyone did.
It was so popular that promoters knew that they could make money from it. They knew that they could get people in. So there was millions of club nights, wasn't there? Just everyone throwing money at clubs because they knew.
Sure, no one felt any risk to do it because you knew it was just going to be a packed fucking sweatbox, and
every time
everything was going to be sorted. There was no issue there, was there? Crazy.
All right, Greg, launches into 94. Let's talk about Steam. It's your baby.
Fucking hell. Yeah. So we opened the record shop in '94. So yeah, like a.
What was the name of the record shop for those that don't know, Greg?
Third Planet Records, baby.
I never went. Do you know that? You still know that? I never went to that record shop. Fucking came me for it. I never saw the place. Tragedy.
Crazy days. Wales looking for real.
Can't know it all, mate.
You could find real because you could look for the smoke coming out of my shop. It was like.
I just spotted you in my loft, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, we opened the record shop, and then, you know, when you've got the only dance music record shop in the whole of North Wales, you've got to have a club, right? You've got to have some way of kind of getting more people into it and have, you know, there was nothing like we were going to in the Midlands and Manchester, the North, all over the place. And there was nothing like that in North Wales, really. So it was like, okay, look, you've got to do it yourself. And we found some, like I said, crazy club promoter guy that was like, yeah, totally, I'll do a night with you. We started, I can't even remember where it was. It was some like little social club or something. We did the very first one. And yeah, Jason Easy came down, respect. And yeah, me, Neil, Freedom, and yeah, we did 2 nights. We did Steam, and there was another one called Taste, which was a house night. And I did a hardcore night. I'm like, hey, there you go. Rave. There you go.
And, mate, banger, mate. Look at the head. Look at the heads on those. Look at that.
He hasn't changed apart from the beard.
Yeah.
Mate.
So my mate did the house night, the tasting, and we did Steam, and the first night it just blew up. It was just ridiculous. We were like, okay, we need a bigger venue straight away. So yeah, we moved into downtown in Rill, and that started 4 years or whatever it was of just madness, just absolute insanity. And
Greg,
like you
Greg, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Was it called Steam before you went to downtown? Is that what you say?
Yeah, we did one night before downtown, and that was still Steam. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But it was insane, and there's loads of people in the chat that used to go, and it was, but like you were saying before, Si, it was one of those nights that was, people were just like, we want more. Just, you know, how hard can you go, and how crazy can you go? And we had this strobe light because it was, you know, cheap as chips. We had this strobe light that took up the whole club and basically just gave you a seizure for like 8 hours or something, and then filled the whole club with smoke. And it was just a strobe and smoke for non-stop, like, and this big outdoor balcony thing that was just like, it was like going to another world when you walked out the doors into the fresh air. Crazy.
Yeah, I remember going up there, and it was, you know, it was almost like refreshing because you travel like 5.5, 6 hours in the car to get up to you, and then you walk in the club and you're like, fucking hell, they're doing the same as they do down here. You know, it's like, it was so refreshing to be able to travel so far up the country and go, you know, oh God, these guys are in the same music as we are.
That was it, meeting them. It really was, dude. It was like, Si, we fucking found them.
It's almost you were linking up at those
did
days,
they find us? Yeah. I don't know, man, but we fucking found each other then. That was totally, okay, we're not alone. Like, we are not. I mean, we knew we weren't, but it's not just us and Simon Underground. It is further afield, and they fucking listen to how they mean, like they mean it. Yeah, Captain Dex on plus 28 or whatever it was. Like, dude, seriously.
It's like finally we had a budget.
Yeah, refreshing, Simon. Absolutely, that was like.
They were like, you know, who do you want to book? And we had the reins, and they gave us the budget, and it was like, okay, I'm just going to book all these people I've ever wanted to see, all these people I've ever heard on tape packs that are awesome and blow my mind, and let's just get them all up into Rill and see what happens. And you can play whatever the fuck you want. You can play as hard as you want, as breaky as you want, do whatever you want, and it'll go off. And it did, yeah.
Here it is.
Again, another one that I never went to. There's quite a few of the Steam crew in the chat. Shout out to your sister Ali and Bonesy.
Out Ali, Bonesy.
Easy.
Chloe's in the house. I think Jason's listening or watching, or maybe I think they've got radio still in Slam Roost. So
internet's due soon, is it?
Yeah. Chloe's saying poppers in the smoke machine. Is that something that you?
Oh God, yeah, we used to put poppers in the smoke machine, didn't we?
Didn't they used to do that in the fucking Plymouth warehouse back in the day as well? Like our roots, like, dude, that pit. Well. Oh my God.
Fucking hell.
Behave yourselves.
I was talking to Mr. Mercer the other day. Paul Mercer, is it? I think he.
You're joking, really?
Yeah, because he did the flyers for that and for North as well, right?
Yeah, so that's Paul Future. He's the man of legend.
Yeah. So I'm sorry I didn't get the call with you, Paul, but big shout, mate. Respect. Yeah, he was blown away. I was talking to him about Steam flyers and North flyers. And
put me up a contact.
Yeah, I will. Say hello. I was like, do you realise how much of an impact you had on so many people? Because people like the design and the style of like the Steam and the North flyers, they really captured the vision of that generation, and it was really like important. And he didn't realise that it made such an impact, and he was quite flattered when I reached out to him the other day. So yeah, shout out to you, man. Respect.
Yeah. Easy.
So, yeah, man. So at the same time as Steam, we also had the start of Fusion up north. I don't know if any of you lot were involved in that one.
Well, Gareth, that's Gareth. Was that Gareth Madtech, Lucas?
Put me on the op there.
Yeah.
It wasn't his nights that he did in Scotland called Fusion.
Oh, no, there were. Yeah, I did play one of those.
Booney sent me these.
Yeah, for sure. No, there was a few of them. The one I went to, Lenny D played there. It was barking.
I'm sure Chosen Few was up there as well. They had some really good lineup.
Yeah. Okay. This is a bit more Scottish underground.
Yeah, not Fusion really Bath. I was thinking.
No. Well, this is it. We got a Fusion that come from down.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the
South Coast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. There you go. But
I went up there for Gareth. I'm sure it was he had Chosen Few on. Well, which was probably the first time I'd seen a Morecambe artist over in Cage.
Yeah,
or sure, maybe Dano. I don't know. Maybe Dano at Plymouth Warehouse. Maybe.
Simon, you keep on dropping off for some reason. I can't hear your audio.
All right, sorry, mate. Probably
bring your microphone closer, perhaps.
Don't start again, Joe.
Well, I want to hear you, man. Okay, so we have that, and also we have Death Row Techno. Boom.
Boom.
Big. Another big one. I went to this venue, and I played at this venue a couple of times, but I never went to DRT. I feel like I missed out, man.
DRT was.
It was that was very underground hardcore, but yeah, I was surprised it was happening in Bristol. Like when I first went there, I was like, really? And then they were like, no, they like their music really hard here as well. It's like, okay, within 2 gigs I'd realised, and yeah, that was they'd had the H's and the Lofties in there before me. I was like, oh right, okay, they mean it, okay. Yeah, it lasted quite a long time as well, didn't it?
It just blew up for us everywhere, didn't it? It was like like all over the country. There was all these kind of crazy hard nights popping up and stuff.
But do you not think, Greg, that's how it all broke? Because it was lots of crews from different places in the country that were all into the same sort of thing. Do you get what I mean?
Everyone travels, right? You drive for 6 hours, no problem to go to.
Yeah, wouldn't think twice about it to go to a good party. But it was the linking of all the like areas that you had for hardcore techno. We're just
got to give a shout out to Doncaster Warehouse as well, by the way, because that's the other side. But yeah, again, like the 𝐊𝐶𝐏s and the GTOs, they were playing in there for like Mr. Mick M Zone. That was like beginning of '93 almost. So that was feeding off what they were already doing in Scotland. Where we are down here in the south, we were kind of anomalies, but really, like the further up north you got, the more kick drummy it got. That was a fact. That's why we always drove really north quite a lot, because that's where the fucking kick drums were, man. It's like, that's where we're going, babe. Sorry, real 5.5 hours. Yeah, I'm sorry. It'll be good when we get there. Promise. Fucking hell.
Of the M44, innit?
Oh.
If you want to talk about going up north, then we talk about.
But this is it. You're already there. If you're already there, it's the context. This is it. Again, it's Scotland things. That's it. So yeah, 94. Yeah, and when did Nosebleed come? Are we talking 95,
94?
Was it really 94? Well. Fuck about, mate. You see what a fucking tinderbox that year was.
Yeah,
it was like house music's dead. No one cares. Kick drum everything. More is core. Fucking destroy. Didn't we? Just okay, amazing.
yeah, Nosebleed was again another one of those places with just pure and
Pure
utter
hardcore
vibe about it. You walked in there and it was. The thing is, we're all used to hot, sweaty sweat boxes. We've never been one for loads of lights, loads of production. As long as we've got a good sound system, that was always the key. It was, and all of these clubs, you knew you were turning up. They'd invest in the production side of getting the music out there. They might scrimp and save on a bit of the extra production, but it was always on it with
sound
the sound
first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sound first.
Yeah.
Some of these lineups are insane, man.
Yeah.
They'd still sell out to this day.
Yeah, fucking
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rock Scythe. It was over the bridge, wasn't it? You drove up to Edinburgh, over the bridge.
Picked up at the airport, over the bridge. As soon as you're over the bridge, you knew you were there. It's like, right.
So I guess we're now also in kind of Skelter territory, Technodrome territory.
Yeah.
Right?
For real.
Yeah. Luke was the first. I don't know whether Sean probably had been up there before with Dennis, but I think Luke played one or two Skelters before I did.
Yeah, my first Skelter was.
I don't know. I think
I'll quickly tell you about my first Skelter because, like I told you, like driving to Milton Keynes, it's like a grid, isn't it? It's a total head mess. And I can't remember. I'd done something before, but me and Millennial, we drove there, totally aerated, argument in the car. Finally got in the gig. We get in there. It's like this massive warehouse. So it's totally spun out. It's like you're playing in the top room. So we go in the top room. It's like, it's chaos, right? The sound is everywhere. I'm literally got 5 minutes to go on, right? And I'm there, about to go on. There's like this massive, like, geeky dude, like, all over the place going, oh, sorry, mate, let me sort the sound out for you. I'm like, fuck's sake, mate, what are you doing? Like, seriously, get someone in who can fucking organise it. It turned out that geezer trying to help me was called Mr. Dave Prattley, the promoter from Helter Skelter. So my first meeting with Mr. Dave Prattley, I fucking caned him. So like, at the end of it, I'll tell you, at the end of it, when it came to it, I got down the end, I went to see him. He goes, you, my fucking friend, you can fucking wait till last. He made me stand there for 2 hours at the end of the gig. I didn't get paid till 8:30 in the morning. Right at the end of it, we were literally the last in the foyer. It was like, let that be there. So I was like, mate, I'm so sorry the night I've had. I'm sure every DJ's had a night. I was like, tonight, I learned a lesson in humility and how to treat people. He says, I'm really glad of that, son. I'm really glad you learned that. And honest, that could have been my first and last Helter Skelter. You don't do that to people. So I learned the hard way, but mate, Dave Prattley, thank you very much. And yeah, I gave back as much as I could. And I think we proved that with what happened to the fucking Technodrome, man. So thank you for having the faith in me, for not being that little shit talker I profess to be. Amazing. Yeah, and from that point onwards, it was like, this guy's taking us serious. We're going to give him serious. That was it.
Let's try and describe the Technodrome to people that never.
You do it, Si. You do it. You do it. You, Simon and Sean, go and you do it.
Technodrome was just.
It was a sweat box.
Yeah.
You need to take a change of clothes. Don't have any money in your pocket because it will.
It was like a balcony room. It was a balcony room in an arena, wasn't it?
It wasn't big.
Exactly.
It was
a balcony room, and it was the first place where everyone was having it at once, wasn't it? First place where everyone was just fucking up. The turntables were hanging down for some canes, I do.
Yeah, they used to swing, didn't they?
It's like DJing on a fucking ship, mate. It's like, all aboard!
But also, what you'd get in there, it wouldn't be hardcore from the onset. You'd go in and it'll start off like techno and trance, and it'll gradually build up hardcore. So you'll get your lofties and your HMSs at the very end of the night.
It was a complete journey, wasn't it? It was totally. Like you'd start purist techno and hard trance and go hard and go harder and go harder, and then it sort of wind its way back down at the end. And it was a formula that worked really well.
I don't know whether it was accidental or on purpose, but it was always programmed. Like it felt really fucking right, didn't it? Honestly,
like they knew the DJs. They knew what.
Yeah.
And it was the first sort of venue that I ever played where used to get the security running in and going, all the ceiling tiles are falling off. You turn it down and you're like, look, I'm fucking, it's great. Just get on with it. So.
Like I say, the Technodrome, it was above the foyer of the entrance of the sanctuary. And there was talk of people being in that foyer and literally the tiles coming down because Simon done that. Your kick drum, you fucking did that.
But they did like the whole room. You very rarely saw security in there because like the music scared them. So like the room was very sort of its vibe where nobody really, looked like you didn't get bothered. The security had only come in. Like more often than not, you saw the security was stopping anyone else going in there because it was too rammed.
Yeah.
Which happened on many occasions.
And that floor was so slippy.
Slippy and bouncy. It must have moved 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah.
My first Skelter was 99. Well, it was my only Skelter actually, and I naively thought that I would go in like an alternate mask because I was from Stafford, so alternate with the fucking thing, and like a proper like chemical fucking suit with a mask on, and we took these really fucking strong. I'm actually on the video, like lying down, dying on the floor in the rollers, right? And we took these really strong mitzies and went in the Technodrome, and it was the worst experience of my entire life. I swear to God, I was fucking spangled, dripping with sweat. I couldn't
fucking hell, mate. You are, dude.
Yeah.
Really, such behaviour.
I think that's the first time a promoter just let us get on with it.
Oh
yeah.
man,
and we had it all night, just like, and he had his total faith in us.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. I remember the first. Sorry, Sean. I remember the first time I played for Dave there, and on the Monday after I played, he rung me up and he said, "Oh, that was brilliant." And he said, "But I just want to say, without upsetting you, don't expect you're going to be on every one because, that's it." But like after that, I think that even Dave realised the power of the hardcore techno was having in that room. There was it definitely that was like a pinnacle point. That Skelter Technodrome. Sort of 95, 96, it was just like hardcore was just in its ascendancy, really, wasn't it?
And they were feeding each other, weren't they? Like the nights like the Technodrome and stuff would just pull more people into it, and then they'd have more clubs. It was just non-stop people doing nights and just amazing music and just crazy times, wasn't it? Every weekend.
It did, like you said earlier, it just spawned so many other things. Even the word Technodrome, they owned that, really, didn't they?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have done techno rooms since, but if anybody actually says Technodrome, it's.
I'll tell you this much as well, man. Without the fucking Technodrome, those first 20 Death Chants, they just sounded a whole lot fucking different.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well,
honestly,
we told them to run speed the first time, wasn't it?
It influenced all of us. That's where I met them all in there as well, so they were going there. They were disciples as well, whether they like to admit it or not. They were in there because they wanted to hear that.
About when you met Cobby at Technodrome, Luke.
Well, I was thinking, because I wasn't even sure actually. I was thinking I could have even been, I don't know how many back-to-backs me and you did, Simon. I'm not sure, but I could have actually been, or I was playing before. I know Simon was at the pedestal, but they had all arrived and he came with white labels, and I was just like, I never play a white label in a fucking gig, mate. You got a fucking long shot there, rah, rah, rah. And he's like, oh, you fucking need to listen to that. I'm like, yeah, right. And we was already there, and I was like, oh, let's just check it. And I put it on, and I nearly shat myself. I turned around and went, you fucking wait there. I set to play. You wait there. So, and that was us meeting them, and then it was on.
I remember, it was definitely. I don't actually remember the first of the Death Chant boys I remember meeting was Will and Brad.
Yeah, definitely. I remember seeing.
They were the first two that I remember seeing in there before Cobby.
And then seeing Cobby and 𝐇𝐀, totally, absolutely. They were all in there in the end.
Right, on the subject of Death Chant, because Death Chant started in 94, so let's play a track.
There you go. No, fucking 94, mate. What's going on in 94?
Death Chant 1. Where Angels Fear to Tread. Let's go.
Yeah, Simon Scorpio had that first.
I blacked out on Lee at Moe's.
Steam tune. Fucking steam tune. Heads up.
The mics. chat is absolutely loving that one, and rightly so. Start of Death Chant then, 1994.
Yeah, man, golden years.
Is everyone back?
Yeah. Golden ears, mate. Golden ears.
So yeah, a lot of this stuff, like a lot of these relationships that we're talking about, people that we now know and stuff, all came from like parties and that, but more so after parties. I think the sit-offs afterwards, where everyone would come back, and I remember
fucking it, man. When we driven 5.5 hours, we weren't just fucking driving back to the club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no fucking way, was there? It's like we wanted to get to fucking know, didn't we?
That's the same across all
generations
of Rave. That's how we all get to know each other properly, isn't it? After,
So I remember like the Def Chant boys. I think we'd had them at Steam, and I don't know, 95, 96-ish. I think Def Chant, I don't know, 7 or 8 was out, and they came back to ours for the party after, and Cobby was like, let me go and get some tracks. And he went to the car, got a tape, put it in the tape deck, and played his Def Chant 10. And the whole room, we were all fucked out of our faces, but the whole room was just like, oh my fucking God. He played that in the
Destined for Destruction, wasn't it?
Yeah, Destined for Destruction. And we were just like, we dropped our shit. We were just, oh my Lord.
It's like,
Yeah. Someone's raising the game there. So, yes, I mean, so many, with Simon, like with everybody, kind of all these like just amazing times. We just sat around and talked about the music and the scene and everything. Just built relationships that have lasted 30 years now. Crazy.
Yeah, indeed. So where are we on the timeline then? Def Chant has officially started.
Right. Yeah. So for sure. We're 94, 94, 94,
94, it had pretty much exploded everywhere. You've got like Greg's doing North Wales. You had the TikTok boys doing South Wales. You had even like people like Fusion on the South Coast were opening up techno rooms as their second room. So like, up around Manchester, you had Kinetic doing it, and again over at Donny Warehouse. So, it had a pretty good coverage, minus London, really.
Fire Chain Howard, I even flew out for my first international gigs where I flew to Belfast, but I flew to Ireland to do these 2 gigs called the Hellraisers. Oh my God. Hardcore techno had completely taken a grip there. I think that was either end of 93, beginning of 94, but that was, the same thing. At that point, it was everywhere. So everywhere we went, it was being validated. Like, this is it. We found our network, man. We weren't hearing places that weren't, because we were just in the right place by then, for sure. So I guess, 94 Full Flight, 95, we're definitely in the swing of things. That was Technodrome. What year? Can someone remind me, what year did I do the Technodrome CD? Because that will put a definite good time stamp on
96.
Is that going to be 96 now? I just wanted to. I couldn't.
Anybody in the chat?
95, 95, 96, because it was around then where I met Manu. Once I met Manu,
96.
Because I met Manu at a resurrection, and like meeting him at that resurrection, it was like him meeting the lost brother, and we just talked for 12 hours. And after that, it was like, you must come to France, and that was it. So that was it. After that, it was like, I licensed Manga Corp and play at the wrong speed, and he fucking believe it. Dude, come on, UK style. But then that was the beginning of me spreading out, and he was like aware of the Def Chant. It's like, fucking, they know the Def Chant's in France. You what?
Yeah.
You fucking what?
UK knows about it.
Now we're starting to realise that the world starts to know the UK's doing something of its own as well. Like,
doing bits.
Fuck. Are we part of it?
Yeah.
It's like, we are part of it. What I'd wish for back in 92, just wanting to be a part, all of a sudden, look at us, starting to go, man. That's healthy. That was healthy for all of us.
So a solid few years through 94 to 97, and then North started, right? So let's talk about how North started, because it started as part of, off the back of Steam, right?
Early on, I realized that I did not want to do promotion. I didn't want to worry about how many people are walking through the door. I just wanted to party with my mates and have fun and play music and not worry about money. And the guy that kind of owned the Steam, the downtowny thing, we got Andy Bowler involved. I can't remember. Sorry if he's listening, but I can't actually remember how we got and how Andy got involved.
Who's got a dog barking? Sorry.
Looks
Oh,
like
he's
Simon.
muted,
Yeah,
he's
Simon's
muted.
muted his
All
dog.
Go on.
But yeah, Andy got involved. We got chatting to him. He proper awesome guy. He just wanted to. He was just like, "I'll take care of all this for you." And so he took over running Steam for us. And then the time came when we just had to wind up Steam, and we needed to take it to the next big thing. And Andy just had all the ideas, and it was like, okay, let's go with it.
Nice. Because there was DRT North and DRT South as well. Is that where the name North came from? I
think they were just collaboration gigs, to be fair, weren't they? For sure.
I think when it was more sort of when like Greg says, when Andy was doing the Steam, he was just trying to collaborate with
exactly.
Another night.
You might be right though, Joe. You might be right. Like my memory is fuzzy, so I apologise to anybody.
All of ours are, mate. Don't worry. Sorry, good company.
I've not got any of this right, but I think you might be right. I think before
if you look at the flyers at the
did some
start
Death Row North and Death Row South.
There, look, it's there. Look,
Andy
right
hooked
there.
up with PK, and then we did a kind of collab type thing.
It's there, look, on the screen right now.
I think when he separated from DRT, he just kept the North bit, and that's
there you go. Exactly. That's exactly what happened, Simon. Perfect. I'm trying to make the connections going. So where did that? That was out of the back of that. Once he just went and didn't collab.
Yeah,
for sure.
Shout to Andy Bowler, by the way. Big up, man.
Totally, for sure.
I mean, you can't understate how much of an influence he had and how much of an impact what he did had on the scene.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't know it. Well, I wouldn't know you guys if it wasn't for that, and I wouldn't know like my best friends now. I wouldn't know Ant-Tones. I wouldn't know Dave Enigma. I wouldn't know Dean Devastator. I wouldn't know like 90% of people who I would call my best friends if it wasn't for North.
Right.
But North took all the good stuff about all these like parties, and they pulled it all together in this one big fuck off mental rave.
Yeah. It was like the absolute boiled down to the absolute fucking essence. And then Andy as a promoter is like, okay, you guys know the music. Who should we be booking? Right, this guy Speedix from France, this guy Manny Le Mans, you have to get him. This guy Randy, you know him from Italy, he's good. Get these. And he was like, okay, Miko Point, get them in. He's like, okay, we'll get them. And then got everyone. And we were like...
And the good thing was, I think a lot of the time with getting a lot of the foreigners that Andy got in, they came over and saw something special themselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, it wasn't, they used to love coming over and playing at North.
Like Drox and stuff. And
totally, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
They become part of the family as well, really. It was
they came here and saw that we, it may be smaller than some of the things they experienced in Europe, but they saw we fucking meant it.
Yeah,
right.
And the overriding comment was they danced.
That was always the thing when we went to European parties, that they couldn't understand us at the front, because the way that we move is completely different to on the continent. So it's a completely different world for them to come over, I guess, to see everyone dancing with their arms instead of with their legs.
Their legs, man. Just north-south, that's totally crazy, man. It's all like this in UK. They're like, wow, you guys are crazy. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, my one of my first bookings was at North, at the Dog's Bollocks. I was 15.
Where was that?
At the Dog's Bollocks.
What, in
the
Stoke?
DJ competition.
In the Void, it was the...
Did you just say 15, Joe?
I was 15 at the time.
Yeah,
I was 16.
I think I was judging that, wasn't I?
Respect,
you were
mate.
judging. The flyer will come up in a minute, but Dave was
that's awesome.
playing in the main room, and I was playing in the back room with Gib, my best mate, Mr. E, Discord, shout. And we didn't win, and we played the other competition the year after. We lost to John Connor one year, which isn't so bad to lose to John because he's a fucking bad boy, and Mark Anthony the year after. So I wasn't pissed about it at all because those guys were gangsters, but that was when I was playing techno or an acid techno at the time. And since then I evolved.
That was before you got corpoed.
Before I got corpoed, well, I was shouting to corpo. I was listening to hardcore before that, but I was into
wasn't corpo hardcore
techno, but I did. It was a heavy influence. That was most definitely. And also Andy himself, the way that he was running it and the way that it was being promoted, it was I don't know. I found it an inspiration, and it's taken. It was become a part of me to today. Do you know what I mean? For the way that I organise parties and the way that I like to do things, that he had an influence on me in more than one way. So yeah, shout out to Andy, man, big up. I can think the flyer will come up in a bit here, but yeah, the North was the most famous venue for me was the Void, and I think it was one of the most special venues ever.
Yeah, it was special.
Yeah, the back room with the techno and trance was awesome. Nice little respite, but the main room was just fucking insane. I remember going there my first times. It was before I played there, so I was like 15, 16, and I was going there. I was going to North on the Friday, I think it was, and then I was going to Atomic Jam on the Saturday night every month. And I remember seeing all these crazy skinheads at the front and thinking, fucking hell, they're scary as fuck, they are. Like, a few years later, then we fucking best mates, like Antones and James and brother.
He is quite scary.
Yeah, and Def Machine and fucking Simon. Like, fucking hell, it's weird how these things come around, isn't it, man? Fucking hell. Yeah. Sick parties. And they did
in
some
the chat, by the way.
It was just meant to be, man.
It was.
Ken's in the chat. He said he remembers after parties at Bowlers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'll remember a few of them.
Shout out to Ken, you're lost, man. Lest we forget, baby.
Yeah, and do you remember sometimes after North we'd do Andy Bowlers, like be up all night after party there, and then get on a bus and go and do it all again in Rosyth.
Yeah.
I have vague recollections
of the coach.
I was definitely there, puking at points probably.
Yeah, look, that one there. It's that one there. It's just gone past, hasn't it? The fly's just gone past there.
Yeah.
There you go. There, look. Is it that one? One Friday, one Saturday, Scotland, and
yeah, mate. Yeah, there you go, dude.
Scorpio.
Yeah, Scorpio. Yeah, that was well proofread. Been called worse.
And so in the later years, North moved away from the Void, because the Void obviously now is a car park, unfortunately, but moved down to 𝐷𝐶𝐶 in Bristol, and also which was also a very good, and 𝐷𝐶𝐶, yeah, but 𝐷𝐶𝐶 was an awesome venue, and also Motion Skate Park, where Andy did the Relentless parties and the Asylum parties as well.
That was after 2000, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was much later.
I think it's interesting. What's interesting that happened in that period, that 94 to 98 period as well, is that after vinyl being so big for so long, around sort of 97-ish to going into 98, the arse end fell out of vinyl and everyone moved to CDs. And kind of around 98, 99, CDs became the kind of de facto, or, started becoming more and more popular, to the point where it's like, buying records became harder and everyone just wanted CDs and stuff then.
Yeah.
And that, in a way, that had a change. That changed the kind of dynamic in the scene.
Yeah, because you didn't have the record shop culture where you'd be going into the record shop and mixing and mixing with like-mindeds again, and you'd be in the shop, and then all of a sudden the CD sort of era come in, and that was sort of the demise of the record shop, but not just the record shop culture.
Yeah. When did you finish working in the shop, Simon?
About sort of 88, 89, 98, 99.
Yeah, that was kind of the end of it, really, then, wasn't it?
No, so just getting to the end of the millennium, like how I've got a lot of labels to cling on for dear life, but yeah, it was already done. I mean, I actually stopped playing records in, I think it was about, it must have been, because I was playing records a little bit when I first went to Holland. I think it was about 2006 is actually when I stopped playing vinyl and succumbed to playing digital. So we did it for as long as we could, but yeah, for that first phase dying period, we clung on by a fucking fingernails, didn't we? I mean, Simon definitely like rocking up the clubs with like records, and happy hardcore guys before us like booming, and we're left with one disintegrating turntable with one needle, and the other turntable just got a plank with a fucking nail banged through it. Yeah, boys, crack on.
Yeah, has anyone seen the styluses?
Fucking yeah. That made you feel a bit shit. Or maybe we're doing this wrong. I just fucking.
This was my first booking. Look, this is the one we were talking about before. My first,
So, yeah,
first bookings in the club. 2001. There's me, DJ ET look. But more interestingly, in the main room was when Dave won the Radical Arena, and there was some good DJs in there actually. Nightmare
It was tight.
really good. Stu Terrorist is very good as well, man.
Yeah.
There's some good people in there. Rich Furness also a very good DJ, man. John Collindale. These
Nightmare Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good times for North. So what else have we got around that time? Let's have a look at the old list. 90s.
You were going to the Sanctuary was pretty much every weekend, wasn't it? Around then, it was ridiculous. It was Milton Keynes every weekend for something or another. If it was like Hardcore Heaven or Dreamscape or Skelter or something. Or something for Kenny Khan. What was this?
I was just, mate. I was just going to say Hysteria, man.
Hysteria.
And
There you go.
Fuck about, oh my days.
Welcome to the world of budget raving.
Yeah, I could get Groove Rider for £50.
Yeah.
Everyone for £50, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, not me.
I realised
bless, man. Amazing.
we skipped over a bit of music here.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard because there's so, for sure. It's hard, Joe, isn't it? Because we just it's so. I think points become more than others, and you've got a huge timeline of music you need to scrape through. Where are you right now?
Well, we skipped over fucking Nasenbluten and your first releases.
Yeah. Okay. I made some. Don't dwell on those, man, because there's fucking loads of that. But again, it's like a '94 thing, isn't it? And so I think, so I made my first one with Gordon Matthewman, DJ Edge, in the Edge Studios after he came down to Revelation that me and Sean talked about. He came down. I just had the balls after I'd met him 3 times. I was like, Gordon, man, any chance of coming to the studio in London to make a tune? And he fucking said and I couldn't fucking believe it. It was like, dude, he said oh my god! So that was my first experience. But then I having that record sound really good, and it was like, okay, that was good, but now you got to do it again. So you got to do it on your own. So it's floundering. The time between floundering and trying to understand it is when Semtex Records kicked in, and so it can sort of start from there. Because my first tune, which was co-engineered by the owner of Semtex Records, Stephen Wells, called Guess My Religion, was also on the flip side of a track with Simon Scorpio, where his track was The Other Side of Reality. Now that's like post my Edge record. Was that done in 1994? Can Discogs check that? It was 94. No, it was 95, was it?
That was 94.
Semtex, the Semtex Guess My Religion, Other Side of Reality.
95.
So 1995, there you go, 1995, and then preceding mine and Simon's there. What year was Greg and Neil's Here Come the Drums? That tune. What year was that? That was an absolute steam anthem they did there.
That was 96, I think.
If you take those 3 tunes combined there, I think those, like I said to
95 as well, Greg.
Outside of what Def Chant were doing, and they were resonating, but that is the absolute key core ingredients of what would become what we now know as UK hardcore. Yeah, absolute. Baby. So like here come the drums, especially like I revere that tune, Greg, so fucking highly. That's one of them tunes. That's one of them tunes. Every time I play it, and I'm getting the head stand up now. That's one of them tunes. When I play it, I'm like, I fucking wish I'd thought of that. I fucking wish I'd done that. Properly do, mate. So like, absolutely. But then, that was your breakbeatisms, like the UK thing, because you come from hardcore like we had, and it was like, that is relevant to us. We've got hardcore, but this is it. And those key components. And then Simon, his thing engineered by Dave Parkinson, with the most explosive fucking varieted breakbeats. That was more extreme than anything. It's like, dude, it's right there. That's our template. Like, let's just go with it. And even without talking with the Def Chant guys, they were already doing it and taking the hip hop samples and a bit cheesy riffs. But that it was fucking there. UK Hardcore had formed it in front of our eyes before we even knew it in 1994. And then post that, you get Nasenbluten, 1994, coming out, going blows to the fucking nose. And I'll hand over to you two guys for that, because that was a Dolphin anthem. That was a fucking Scorpio anthem. That was an everything anthem. That was, this is hardcore. Hardcore's fucking here.
I'll play it and we'll talk about it, right? Because I've got to play this, man. Let's play
it.
Innit?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I use in a battle for the mind. Hit it hard like it's supposed. Blowing up blows to the nose like Uncle L said. I'm ripping up shows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I use in a battle for the mind. Hit it hard like it's supposed. Blowing up blows to the nose like 𝐊𝐶𝐄, and I'm ripping up shows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I use in a battle for the mind. Hit it hard like it's supposed. Blowing up blows to the nose like 𝐊𝐶𝐄, and I'm ripping up shows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I use in a battle for the mind. Hit it hard like it's supposed. Blowing up blows to the nose like 𝐊𝐶𝐄, and I'm ripping up shows. Here go the sound of the record ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I use in a battle for the mind. Hit it hard like it's supposed. Blowing up blows to the nose like 𝐊𝐶𝐄, and I'm ripping up shows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I use in a battle for the mind. Hit it hard like it's supposed. Blowing up blows to the nose like 𝐊𝐶𝐄, and I'm ripping up shows. Here go the sound of the record ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I use in a battle for the mind. Hit it hard like it's supposed. Blowing up blows to the nose like 𝐊𝐶𝐄, and I'm ripping up shows. Here go the sound of the record ball.
Yeah, someone in the chat saying Greg needs to remix this.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
That's a great idea,
That's
man.
a good idea, isn't
What
it?
what an outstanding idea that is. Seriously.
It might even be already done.
Let's put a request in the mail, shall we?
Yeah, we'll pop one in. Yeah, so awesome stuff. We did rewind in time there a little bit, but it was fucking worth it, man. 100%.
It makes like the standpoint of our music, like really us. Yeah, we were playing all the records from everywhere, but when it came to us being us, we found an us really quite early on.
Yeah.
It was an extension of what we come from, but we just added kick drums to it and then just made them as high velocity as possible, really, innit? And it just it formed itself, man. I really do think we had that funkiness already. It's just there, innit? It's a breakbeat thing, man.
It was also quite weird that that album came out of pretty much nowhere at the time. I know,
The rail bad.
that sort of
Unless you need the 12 inches.
Yeah, I get the 12-inch thing, but that basically announced them massively on the scene, that album, and then suddenly you're going, hold on a minute, they're not just into that here, they're into it
On the other
The
side.
other side of the planet,
on the
man.
other side of the planet. So that was quite awe-inspiring, and it had more attitude. And it also taught us there was another Newcastle not in the north of England.
So, Sean, what was it like for you as an MC to be emceeing to the music as it was changing and getting more and more extreme? I mean, we haven't talked about HMS and Loft Groover yet, which we should, because that's a very key point. But what was it like for you as an MC trying to keep up with the music that was fucking accelerating at turbo speed, man? What the fuck?
That is a great point, isn't it? Sean, how do you, after all these years, man, how do you feel about that?
That is a good point. That is a good point.
Thanks, Ian.
Well, those people who are on the dance floor with me will know why. At the end of the day, I'm not a lyrical MC, as you know. I'm just a hyper, and I kind of talk my way through things. So I kind of used to just let you guys get on with it and feed off the crowd. Do you know what I mean? And speak when you got to speak when you're spoken to. I mean, I used to get excited like you guys. I mean, granted, I didn't play it.
Of course, you're not rhyming. You don't have to keep up, do you?
No.
I'm fucking right on, man.
The matter is that I'm jumping on the floor with you, and in the space, I'm finding something to say. Do you know what I mean? I.e., hope you're all right, because that was
Still alive out there?
No, it was I don't know, man. It's not like I just got excited, just like you
That's
did.
awesome.
Like,
For sure, you were excited, man. We could tell. It's brilliant.
I don't know if it was the same.
So
We had the right partner in crime, innit? For sure, you know, like you were down with us. Totally.
We did drill his head in the car on the way there. A lot of the time it would be like that. You play him stuff just to so you'd be going up in the car and you'd be like dropping tunes from your set just so he would know some of them when you got on.
Exactly. And the fact of the matter is, I'll be driving, I'll go up in the car with Simon or Luke, and they'll be playing me tunes, and I could spot a good tune. Do you know what I mean? I'll be like, that's a tune.
Yeah, for real.
Do you know what I mean? And then
man.
It was just a case of just, and as it got, there was a hazy day. There's a hazy point where it got really, 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 really fast. And the idea, I mean, I had an idea when it came to Lost Groove, and I was like, my mission was to hit every single beat. Now, you can't do that naturally, people. I ain't going to go into too much detail about that. Do you know what I'm saying? But you can't be hitting every single beat naturally. But I did. And that was the mission. It became a game. And then that transpired onto the dance floor. Everyone kind of came along with you, and off it went. Do you know what I mean? It's quite interesting because I would be talking to my friends about going out to industrial parties and Gabba, and they'd be like, what the fuck? How can you do that? It's just like, you guys just don't get it. It's like, it's a vibe.
Amazing.
It's a vibe. Do you know what I mean? And I have to explain to them, it's a vibe. So I just used to feed off you guys, and I feed off the crowd, and I listen to the music. It's a bit more difficult nowadays because the music is a bit tricky. Do you know what I mean? There's missing beats before they drop the kick and all that kind of stuff. So you have to really know your tunes now. But back then it was just, you were just in tune with it. So yeah, I just went with it. I can't. Nice. I'm not going to say anymore because I'll be waffling. Do you know?
No, that's an answer right there, isn't it? But, totally, man. Like you could hear it, and you know where you were with it. That's great, man.
Yeah. I mean, I got into it. I mean, I got a bit of a mic hog because I was so into it. Do you know what I mean? You'd be lucky if you can get the mic off me. If it had been rocking for the last 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Where is he going?
You roll with this. You know what I mean? So. To all the other MCs, apologies. I am aware I have a bit of a mic monster. But
you do have a reputation.
Yeah, but I did. But I was having a good time with it. I mean, there was times I wouldn't even go to the toilet. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't even tell you what happened anywhere else in the party because I've been stuck in that room all night. But that was my choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. On the subject of music getting faster, I wanted to throw some light on HMS and Loft Groover because they changed the game a little bit in what they did, right? They came along and they played music at the wrong speed, said it in air quotes, and really did something different that made everybody think about the speed of music differently. So I just wanted to throw a bit of light and a bit of respect on those guys. And I got a little clip here to play. It'll play. Oh, it won't load. What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Let's play this.
motherfucking 7. We're in full swing. Techno.
Jason.
Shout to Jason.
Ready for the sound for DJ Loft Groover and HMS?
That's easy.
One crew.
Whistle.
Raise the ceiling in the house of Loft Groover and HMS. Come on.
So that's a nice clear recording, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Really crystal.
It's time for the hardcore. Hold it down, whistle crew. Listen. Listen. Loft Groover.
This same type of rot and decay caused 16 of the 19 major civilizations to vanish from the earth.
Are you ready for this?
This same type of rot and decay caused 16 of the 19 major civilizations to vanish from the earth.
Techno, get busy! Get fucking busy! DJ Loft Groover! Backup power sound of HMS! Come Kick it in, come and make it move faster.
You can hit every beat.
Yeah.
On the half time.
The half beat is still a bit too slow.
Yeah, man. Those guys changed the game, really. And yeah, RIP HMS, man. Big up.
Yeah.
And Tone Lofty's still going strong.
He is, man. He is.
Did a podcast with a prospect not that long ago, didn't he?
Yeah, man.
I think we have to with MC Easy. I mean, my into. I mean, I was emceeing that like Helter Skelters and your Fantasias and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the only reason why one of the reasons why I only got into hardcore that deep was because Easy was emigrating to Australia, and they asked me if I would take over the reins. That's how I got in there. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, of course, thank you. And then it just went from there for me. But the passion and everything else from your ravers and your DJs and stuff has kind of pulled me in big stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Jace.
Yeah, like going.
Sorry, Simon.
Going back to Lofty. That's all right. Going back to Lofty and H. You know, they took hardcore techno and put their own spin on it. Like, you know, they created almost that genre in the UK. Them two together.
Yeah.
And they were you know, often lots of people try to emulate what them two did, but you know, I you know, still find to this day that, you know, touching H and Loft for what they actually played out has been really hard, because like I know people can play fast, but they played it with, I don't know, it just had its own edge that was it was very hard for anyone to copy, especially H. He was so tight, and yet
he was
so diverse in his music
crazy,
choice.
Man. Sure, it may have been too fast for me, but fucking H as a DJ sometimes was fucking like.
But
it was great. They were just ripping tunes off and just banging the next one, and you'd be like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, dude, really.
And he bought, you know,
probably no compromise. I always played them records that it was like those scary B-sides I wouldn't go near. These would be like playing it as a fucking intro tune. You like fucking, it's next level, mate.
He used to take, when I worked in the record shop, I used to get a lot of Steve's records for him, and he used to go for the most obscure end of hardcore. The stuff in the shop, he's like that. What about that? I remember, like, do you remember like that Sans Pity label and stuff?
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh man, you know, it's stuff. He didn't care. He was like that. He would play. You know, it didn't bother him. As long as the tune was good, he'd find a way of playing it, be it the wrong speed or whatever, he'd get it in there.
For sure.
You know,
take the fast ones and then 45 them.
Yeah.
Like, monsterize them. Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was sort of like the beginning of that. Yeah, like sort of like 95, 96, 97. That's the first generation French industrial hardcore being mixed with their fucking tracker core and like the metal. Dude, it was like, what is going on with this music? How many variants of this now? What is it?
Yeah,
dude.
Lofty used to play, Lofty used to play Negative Creep, didn't he, by Nirvana and things like that on 45.
speed metal tracks. You know, like,
playing full metal sets in the Live Evils, for fuck's sake. Like full just metal at the end. Like, what's happening?
Just given.
Try them all, innit? And they did readily. Insane.
So we fast forward, catch up to ourselves again. We come to 1999.
Oh, okay. This is going to get hazy for me now.
I've got a track to play while you think about it. This is when Social Parasites started, and this is when
shout to Lee Clark.
Yeah, and this is when DOLPHIN and 𝐷𝐄 dropped this bad boy.
Oh, sick.
jealousy's a motherfucker. You weak, jealous motherfuckers. If you're a jealous motherfucker, you just a weak motherfucker. See, when you're on top, motherfuckers just want to bring you down.
The first time I dropped that, I had to take a DAT player to fucking North because I'd finished it on the Saturday morning or the Friday morning or whatever, and it was like, okay, I've got no way. I want to play this, but I've got no way I can get a dub cut in time or anything. So it was like, okay, let's take the fucking whole DAT player. I had to plug the DAT player into the
fucking right on, man,
and bang that out just so I could play it on the night.
I remember that came out and I heard it. Well, I don't know if it was on that time or not, but I remember hearing it at North, and I remember running up the stairs to Simon Underground, being like, "What the fuck is this? I need this right now!" And he was like, "You best get it quick. It's fucking going!" Like, fucking hell, like, fucking hell, Greg. But you know what Simon's like as well. He's, "I've only got one left. You need to get it now, don't you?" Like, "Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. How much is it?"
Everyone's works in the record shop's done that, mate.
yeah. Everyone in the chat's loving it.
Joe, just around that period, there's somebody else that we didn't really mention the other day, but it's probably quite relevant around there. Is Sass?
Yeah,
he was doing a hardcore mafia, and he was working at Alpha Magic. So shout out, rest in peace, Sass.
Yeah, big shout out to Sass.
Yeah, he totally got into Alpha Magic and fucked things up for him. Yeah, he was totally amazing.
He brought them over to the other side,
labels and stuff.
Fully corrupted them. It was amazing, and we just took it for all it was worth. He was like, "Dude, just put records out." I was like, "Okay, all right, no worries, man. Here, take this. Okay, it's out. What the dude? Okay, do that again, dude. Amazing. It was really funny."
But there was Mo's Magic, wasn't there? SRD, Alpha Magic. But Alpha kind of went off on their own kind of like Scottish happy hardcore.
That's definitely a lot of the evolutions and for sure all of that.
I still remember
Mo's music as well.
Mo's Music Machine, but yeah, that was more like UK. That's where Edge Records were distributed from, and they dealt with a few imports. That was like good for us DJs.
Musprat, actually.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, mate. I was even talking about one of those guys the other day. I can't even remember now. Fucking hell. Too many people to remember. Too much history, boys and girls. Oh my god. But yeah, a good healthy mix.
1998 and 99 was also the start of Disturbance, which is Nat Traffic's label. So Shout to Nat. And also the start of Corrupt, Matt Green's label. Shout to you as well, Matt. Fucking also prominent figures within the UK scene deserve their props, man. Big ups. So
and Total Output guys as well. Remember around that time?
And Spliff Monk as well. I think he came a little bit later though, right, Mike? Yeah.
This is it. Simon Underground, completely the facilitator at this point. Although actually we've known him for years, but this what even underground music as a base. Corrupt was helped set up between him and Matt, and Mike Spliff Monk was doing the. What was his label? Like Hammer Damage's label, Sensory Violation. Thank you. Loads of things. The Black Monolith Records label, like just all of those things. It was from sort of 97, 98 onwards. It really started to escalate.
Talk about 97. Let's talk about Live Evil, because it's one of the longest standing nights.
I mean, I think you can't understate again, like we said with Bowler, like there are people in the scene that have had such a big impact.
Simon is big,
yeah.
He's been there from dog.
I'm not even sure the scene would be what it is without Simon.
In the UK, this guy go as far as to say that for sure. Absolutely, Greg. I first met him at Knowledge in 1993, and he was just a dude in the corner of the club with a little table with a little crate of records, little one crate, and on the front just like photocopied, just said underground music. That was him. And I was like, oh mate, but it's like, dude, this dude's like, we're talking the same language. You've got the records I've never seen, and I desperately want. This is it. From that's I
mean, he's given his whole life to the scene.
For sure, he's just
that he's done, and the amount of records that he's pressed, and he's done it completely independently. I mean, it's a phenomenal achievement.
It's a lot, man. Done. It's really a lot.
I wonder how many people there are in the chat that used to have a weekly or a monthly call to Simon where most of their wages would fucking go to him.
He loved you lot.
To call him up, didn't he? Like, underground. Yeah, Simon, I'm here for my monthly fleecing. What have you got?
We love you, Simon.
Big
amazing. But us DJs as well, like we were all the same. Like working up a huge tick bill with him is like, fucking hell, I got to pay it off. And oh my god, sort it out, Lucas. Fucking
like DJing just to pay your record habit.
Oh mate, come on. Passion, mate. Fully fueled, like it's a necessity.
So Live Evil started in 97, still going to this day. Nat Traffic is doing it with him now. We did a night with him down there as well, man. I was quite proud of that. It was one of those things that it was on my bucket list. Not only did I want to DJ at Live Evil, which I did before that, but I wanted to do something with him. And when they agreed to doing that, it was like a fucking dream come true for me, man. It was like up there is more important than most of the stuff that I did. So yeah, big up, Simon.
But it's your typical. It's like the Technodrome, and it's like Steam. It's one of those sweat boxes again that's got that amazing vibe where as soon as you walk in there, you're in the zone for hours, aren't you?
Man, some of the nights in that fucking venue off my nut, oh my god. Dean Walsh is in the chat. We went in there one night, we fucking travelled to a different dimension. I remember watching Matt Green play, and like, fucking hell, it was like he was like some superhero on the stage, and he was like slamming out these concrete kick drums, and we were just stood there like, what the fuck's going on, mate? I don't know. Fucking Dean is in the chat. He's like, oops.
Amazing.
Fucking hell, that venue, man, awesome.
There's somebody in the chat just said the only part of my wages Simon didn't have was the pay slip.
There it is, boys and girls, right there.
You win the internet.
Absolutely, a testament to the man right there.
It was part of the challenge when you worked in a record shop to take the money off them there.
Absolutely.
Fucking mental.
All
yeah,
right.
I'm funny. All of us here, we've all worked in a record. Like even Sean worked in distribution. Greg had his own shop. So I worked in a shop. I worked in a shop for a bit. Like we've all had a go. So
as well, it
was just part to feed our fucking habit. You understand, boys and girls. Like, and he's like, I just want to be where they are. Get it? I want them all. I want them before everyone. Like
from the source.
So fucking selfish.
Like, it's
man,
like getting
honestly.
cocaine from Colombia, isn't it? It's like just being at the source.
Being in the front of the fucking queue, and that's where the tricks come from, man. Fucking sleep on the doorstep, mate. yes, all that, yes.
Yes. So we're coming to the end of 1999 now.
Okay, yeah, Millennium.
yeah, we're going to start slipping into the next category, I think. Let me just take a look at my list. Before we do, Simon did Live Evil, but he also did the Underground, Scotland.
Oh yeah, up in Scotland.
Some legendary nights. Look,
Was that after Nose? Was that after Nose?
It was.
Yeah, it was after Nose, same venue. I
Filled
think,
the void.
Same venue.
Yeah.
I think this one of these flyers is hand drawn. It's fucking brilliant, and Steph's name on it's spelt wrong. If
Deathman Machine.
Deathman Sheen. It was his first gig as well.
DJ Deathman Sheen. Yeah, dude, that one. Wicked.
I think it's the next one.
Was that on Mancini?
What?
Maybe.
Oh, it's fucking taking ages. Oh, I'll skip through. Come on, next one. Look at the lineups though, man. They're insane. There we go. Look at that. I'll zoom in on it. Hold on.
Nice.
Go.
Deathman Sheen.
Deathman Sheen, London, and the copyright
brilliant.
at the
That's
bottom.
so
The
good.
copyright, Cheap Flyers Incorporated. I fucking love that. Right at the bottom.
That's UK style, baby, right there.
Proper.
Fucking punk DIY shit right there, dude. No one else is doing it. We're fucking doing it ourselves. Fuck it.
We've come to the end of nearly the end of the 90s. So we go into 1999 to 2003, generation 3 of UK Hardcore Techno. So I'm going to start out with...
Cool.
You want
This
some
bit's
core?
blurry.
Oh, it's blurry.
Yeah, it did get blurred around it, didn't it?
It's the Millennium bug.
I remember, and I remember, yeah, 2003 is definitely a bit more clearer because of like production things by then.
So
but,
you skipped a whole generation.
even remembering the Millennium. No, but I was going to say winding back. I was going to say actually winding back and actually trying to remember what was the gig that we actually played, Millennium Eve. What was that? What were we together, Simon?
Yeah, North Scotland.
That's what it was. I've been scratching my head about that for like literally 3 days.
I'm not surprised you can't remember much of it.
What was it? You know what I mean? This is the debauchery well and kicked in.
Let's try and fill
by
in the
this
gaps.
time.
Let's try and fill in the gaps. So, first of all,
Yes.
Al Twisted Dark Side around this era, I believe. So the first one was there.
Well, respect.
I'll just rewind that. It went way too quick. I think that he started it in 99. Oh, hold on, my bad. I'm at the wrong fucking thing here. This was his first gig that he did where Dark Side started. I think after this, him and Booney went and did Resurrection, and then Al came back to this. But I think this was a charity gig, if I remember, and this is where the name Dark Side was conceived. Al, are you in the chat? Because I know you said you were going to watch. He did send me you know what Al's like. He's very, very complete. He sent me like a Word document with the full description of it, and I didn't have a chance to read it. But yeah, he started this. He started this.
Well, thanks for that anyway.
Booney. Yeah, cheers, Al. Well, I'll put all of his flyers in there. So yeah, this is when Dark Side started, and Dark Side's been one of the.
That's a fucking good lineup, that is.
It is a good lineup, yeah. Keep this going. So I think if I recall properly, Twisted Dark Side is. Let me just check my facts here for a second. Other than Live Evil, Al's been running Twisted Dark Side for 22 years now. Live Evil's been running for...
Well, when you say it like that, man, that's insane, dude. Whoa,
Yeah.
respect.
Live Evil's been running for 24 years, and Oblivion's been
Oh,
running for
stop it.
21 years now.
Behave yourself.
21, yeah.
All right, calm the fuck, calm
We're
the
not
fuck
even
down,
that old,
mate.
are we?
Not that there's a competition, but I did check.
It's all lies.
So yeah,
Oh,
Al needs to have some light thrown on him too, because you know, pure dedication to the scene. He's also your agent, Luke.
Yeah, for real, dude, for
he's
real.
been doing this professionally. You have to remember, this
Soldier.
is Al's job. He's a real promoter. You know, he's really
Yeah, it's
this is what he
absolutely.
does. He's
He has promoted the fuck.
yeah, he's got
Like
I
full
think
on.
he's got about 7 brands or something ridiculous. Al works
Man.
really hard, man. So Al's,
flat out.
yeah, big up, man. He worked really hard and putting shit on the map in Scotland, especially, and all over the world.
Keeping it on the map. Keeping it on the map.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
While you're there, you got to mention Quinny as well. I think, you know, around that
Yep.
time he was doing the core nights in Edinburgh.
Yeah, totally. Respect Quinny. Nice.
Quinny's in the chat, but yeah, definitely.
Oh, easy, Quinny. Thanks for sending me those flyers, dude. Appreciate it.
I always got buckled at those as well.
Yeah, I remember you sleeping in a washing basket.
Oh, tell us more.
I don't know. Late for a plane, running around someone's house half. Where's my fucking shoes?
Yeah, no, we got snowed in at Quinny's. So we did the party, went back to Quinny's, and probably instead of getting some rest for the journey home, I think we stayed up most of the night and then sort of slept in, and then realised it was snowing. And then I sort of rung the airport trying to give it the blag because I knew we were going to be late, and trying to blame the snow. And I said we were in the car, and all you can hear in the background is Luke running around going, "Who wants to see my trousers?"
Absolute fuckery. I woke up in the wrong bed. I woke up in the bed I didn't pass out in, and I was half naked. Fucking mental. Where's my fucking shit? I'm not going to go out with no fucking shoes on. We're in Scotland, dudes. Seriously. What's happening? That happened. That was amazing. I actually remember that as well. So yeah, that was definitely a moment.
Which party was that at, Luke?
That was a post Quinny party where we all played together.
Got you.
I can't give you any more information than that.
Quinny, tell us in the chat, man. So as I said before, Al did Twisted Dark Side, which is still going strong, but at the same time, Resistance started, and this was Booney and Al running this, and these were some good lineups. I remember when the first flyers came out at the early 2000s, late. Yeah, it was the early 2000s, around about the same time as Oblivion was starting up, and I was paying very close attention to them. Some very good lineups. Did any of you guys play at these ones? I didn't see on the flyers.
I don't think I do. I didn't do a Resistance.
Lenny D playing in Scotland. Fancy that?
Yeah, I might have. It's possible I played one. It's possible I played one. I can't recall. I'm sure Al will know better than me. He'll have a record of it somewhere.
I guess we'll see.
Very 50-50.
Some good lineups, man. And Booney deserves a shout as well, because there's I don't know if I've captured it in the flyers that I've got here, but he's been involved in a lot of parties, like the Sector stuff. I think he's involved in the Fantasia as well. That's happening up there, and
the Resurrection. That is
there's
for sure.
I think he was
and the club outside of Resurrection that was at the same time called the Foo Bar, which is where I met him and his mate Martin Obsession. Absolutely, totally those two. Fucking warriors, love to parry you forever.
I think I first saw Martin Obsession, and he's another boy that is probably one of the first guys in Scotland, dropping hardcore techno, because I remember him coming down to Plymouth in like late '93, early '94. That was the first time I met him. So he's been dropping big beats.
Again, Scotland all over it. You know what I mean? Coming down, it's like right, you already knew. You're like, yeah, I'm fucking. You got the tunes, man. No
games, man. Yeah. Big ups. Right, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to talk about Species, Manchester. Let's talk.
That's another sweatbox, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about the park, man. What a venue that place was. Little dingy dungeon underneath a fucking. I don't even know what it was underneath, but you went down those steps and it was just you could just feel the moisture in the air as soon as you went down there. Shouts to Doug Rascal, Matt Rage, Scotty. Paul Draycott, Adam Alarm, fucking all of those guys, fucking big ups. Species, you were also involved in that to a certain extent, weren't you, Greg? Were you doing the flyer work and stuff like that with them at some point?
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't involved with the promotion stuff. I did the flyers and stuff. Some of them.
Yeah, I was really.
I can't remember. Maybe I did more.
Always really taken back
did
by
that
the
one.
artwork. You did. Which one?
Yeah, I did most of these.
Storm.
That one that
Did
just
you?
went past.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you did the later ones. I didn't know you did.
I'm
these
pretty
ones.
sure I did. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I did though.
I used to love the Species flyers, man. It's the Destroyer, isn't it? Playing. Is that the Destroyer?
Nice tie.
Yeah. Yeah. So these guys, Doug sent me a text. He was saying that they put on the night as the spawned off the desire for giving up and coming DJs a chance because they were getting missed out on other lineups, and also they wanted to expose the more industrial sound that was coming out of Holland and Italy, like the DNA Records kind of sound. And that's the sound that was synonymous with those nights. For me, it was that harder sound of Gabba, as it was referred to at the time. But there was that, and then there was Death Machine and Rage, who were playing like speedcore sets there, and like terror sets, and like early like industrial hardcore, and playing industrial French stuff. And that was what Species.
I remember Species more for that than anything, man. Like Matt Rage's set sometimes used to fuck me up, mate.
Yeah, Rage was a bad boy DJ, man.
He was a demon, mate.
Yeah,
fucking at those speeds, that tight. It's like, all right, you got your shit down, man. Fucking hell.
Someone in the chat just reminded me I was working in Spinning Records at the time because I completely forgot about that, and I was living above Spinning Records in next to Affleck's Palace in Manchester and stuff. And I only worked there like one day a week, but every Saturday, I don't know how, but I'd end up being like late for work, and I lived literally the.
Oh my god! Skills, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some amazing lineups, man. Especially at the time, they were bringing like Dormouse over and not Total Out, but the Destroyer over, Don Diablo, Promo, people like that, and it was like they were breaking boundaries at the time.
Was that Dipper? Was that Dipper that just went?
Man. Yeah.
Dipper, the diamond dealer from Dubai.
Yeah.
He ended up becoming a diamond dealer in Dubai, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I spoke to him yesterday.
No way.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, look at that Joshua producer, Matt Green, Death Machine. Fucking what a lineup, mate.
Wow, fucking hell, man.
Look at Mike and Tuggy there. Whoa, rewind. Mike Technoist, Tuggy, and J-Eazy. Fucking hell.
Like, lock your cars, people.
Yeah.
Check your hard drives.
Oh, sick, man. Proper as F. What, dude?
Yeah, man. Great lineups, great guys, and they're still passionate to this day. I had them over at
something that small and intense that was absolutely born out of passion. People that really were in it, and half of them were still in it. It's fucking.
Yeah, I had them over when we did the Narnia night. They came over and played a banging set there, really, really good. And
right, see, 2003, yeah, that's good. See that between 2000 2003 bit, it was just that,
yeah,
post-millennium rave, pre-industrial, industrial kind of thing.
I wonder what that tattoo looks like now. If you're in the chat, send us a picture.
Yeah, screen grabs, please.
So after Species came Oblivion. So that's me.
Sure.
Tell us the story, Joe.
Actually, well, Oblivion was started before me. So these flyers that you see now, the Oblivion was actually started by Tom Brown and Die Hard Dave.
Shout
Dave
to Tom.
Rave. Yeah, really? Shout to Tom and Dave. Yes. So it started at Grendon Lakes in 2001, which are these flyers that you can see now. Let me see if I can pause it.
Where's that, Joe?
Northampton.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so it started as a small thing in 2001, and it grew quite quickly. And then Tom wanted to expand. Well, they both wanted to expand, so they decided to move to a club that was a little bit more in the city, and Leicester was the obvious choice. somewhere along the lines there was a disagreement on music policy. I think Dave wanted to do happy hardcore and Tom wanted to do hardcore techno, and I went to, I think it's the next event in December. This one, I went to this night. It was when Steph played, and this is when I first met Tom. And we went to an after party and we got talking, and I was like, look, I really want to, like, you know, start putting on nights, but I don't have a venue. I live in Stafford. There's fucking no chance I can do it here. Do you reckon we can work something out? And so soon after, him and Die Hard Dave, they went their separate ways. And I came in and started doing the hardcore. And you'll see a very stark change in the type of flyer design and lineup. So we went from that to this. It was
Billy Bonner.
The first one was Hardcore Crossbreed and Disturbance Night, so Enticer, Traffic, etc. That was in 2002. So Enticer, Traffic, Technoist, Death Machine, and then we went from there, really. 2002.
Club Soho, good
Club
God.
Soho in Leicester, yeah, man. The speakers in there that used to make your ribcage rattle when you were stood behind them. There's loads of little cubby holes, weren't there, that you could hide in and get up to no good. We got some fucking stories that are not internet safe.
Yeah, they haven't.
We've done really well to skirt over a lot of very internet unsafe material, guys. So respect for that. Nice,
but it is a stark
easy
contrast in the.
It's sort, you know, there's ridiculously always in the background, but you know, we're all still here with our heads pretty screwed on. So we're all right. We're all right, guys. You know what I mean? We're all right.
Only because we screwed them back on at some point.
Shout, Greg. You know. So those that were wise enough to absolutely did, you know.
We stayed at Club
Soho had some legendary nights, didn't it?
It got turned into a restaurant at some point.
One of the funniest things I remember from that time was Dave Enigma, phoning himself an ambulance because he'd done too much, right? done a bit too much. So he went outside. He went outside to get some air, and he thought he was dying. So he phoned himself an ambulance. And I went outside and I went, "You're right, Dave." And he was kind of coming to a little bit. And he was like, "I phoned myself an ambulance." I was like, "What the fuck have you done that for?" He's like, "Wait." I was like, "How are you feeling now?" He's like, "I'm feeling a bit better now. I might just cancel it."
Just in case.
Fucking hell, dude. Just like booking a taxi, baby.
Yeah, so we did Club Soho, and then when that closed, we moved from there to Keele University. That was where we went next, and that for us was like a fucking amazing venue. And it was a bit later on, but it was after North had finished for the first time. Remember when he finished it for the first time? And I convinced Andy to let us do a night with him, basically at the Keele Uni, and it was North versus. Great night. It was sold out. It was lockout within like an hour, and then we did another one afterwards. And then on the back of that, I think he took some momentum from it, if you like, and he did like the Relentless Nights, and he brought it kind of back a little bit. So it was nice. Oh, this is the t-shirt I've got on, actually, the North versus Oblivion thing. So yeah, from there we went to Keele Uni. We couldn't use that after a while because we got raided one night. Does anybody remember that night?
Oh yes. Oh,
was that the one after it was the one after the North night, wasn't it?
Yeah, very yes. Remember that night.
Conrad was over, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. I bet he wondered what the hell is going on.
What have you brought me to?
Was that busted before it started, Joe?
So it was like the tune. Welcome to Oblivion.
There's that North night.
Literally. Fucking mate, that was unparalleled.
Well, they said to us,
scary shit.
There might be some checks and whatever, and I was like, yeah, sound, no worries. And then before I knew it, there were dogs in the venue.
They set up a border control, mate. It was like border control. It was utterly intense. It was mental.
Yeah, someone in the chat.
You left, you right, you left, you right. Search this.
I'm not going near that, Jed. Not going near that comment, Jed. But yeah, it was a nightmare, and all the artists and everything. I remember I was fucking pissed off because I was thinking to myself, you know, people could be fucking getting in trouble just for coming to my night here, and I was destroyed about that.
Yeah,
man.
sure, dude. Yeah. Totally, I feel that.
Really
it was totally carnage in that regard, man.
But
I don't see many messes like that, but that was a bit of a mess, totally. But
and it was a
recoup and repatriate, etc.
So from there we went to the Tunnel Club in Birmingham, which we had varied success. It wasn't really fit for our purpose. It was a little bit too big.
It's a bit hit and miss, that venue, isn't it?
Yeah, the venue's a little bit hit and miss. In the way that it's laid out, it didn't really lend itself to atmosphere very well. So after a little while there, we kind of stopped doing events there. Along the way, Tom became a little bit less involved, took a back seat from really doing much on the promotion side of things. And then I'm fast forwarding a lot, but in like 2015, I think, Dave Balfe, who was also running Oblivion with me, he took a seat from it. He didn't want to do it anymore, and I brought on Steph, Death Machine, and Cam into the team, and we changed our approach to things. I got sick of doing events and in situations or in circumstance and working on a model that wasn't really working. You know, it was difficult to do nights in that kind of era, to invest in it and get any return. So it really took some rethinking and regrouping on it. And we've changed our approach to everything now. And since 2015, we've expanded our team, and we've got like a really cool group of people working with us now. And we do things in a different way. And we've been doing things in the UK, in Europe. We've done some stuff like we've got some stuff coming up in Australia. We did a tour in Japan, you know, just a completely different approach to it. So yeah, it's come a long way since its humble beginnings. I'm thankful to Tom and Dave and everybody.
Yeah, from its humble beginnings, man. You always it's a big world, you know. There's a lot of it, and now it's smaller because we're all connected exactly as we are right now. So talk about us finding each other in the beginning here in the UK. Now it's like finding each other globally. Going right, what's going on?
And you really have raised your game, Joe, in the last few years. It's definitely noticeable.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. But it's around this time that when did we start this? Around 2002, 4, something like that?
This is 2001. This started, yeah.
This is really when everything started going a bit weird in the scene.
It's a new, totally, but like a new era of music as well. Totally, me and Fish found our own feet. Planet Mu chased us, did that. Rebel Scum had already got his feet from 1999, which I did with Psy Underground. That was a darker. It was a darker period. The music was kind of darker. It was a bit more introvert. Like the UK scene wasn't what it was. We were trying to find a space while at the same time.
The come down from the high of the 90s.
It totally was. It totally was. And I kind of circumvented it by getting sucked more into Europe and that having a bigger calling. But yeah, at the same time, just wanted to do as much here as possible just to kind of be on UK life support. Totally.
Yeah.
Do you not think sorry, Simon, go ahead.
Do you not think during that period as well there was more sort of like that, not so much, I'll use the word pigeonhole, but I don't mean, but there was a lot of different pigeonholes just within the hardcore techno scene.
Yeah, totally. The fragmenting was, you're this and you're that and all. So let's make different nights because you're this and because you're that. And then you're playing the wrong type of hardcore in the wrong gig and people get sniffy and it's like, fuck man, what happened there?
There was a big influx from like the electronica scene, shall we say, the IDM crowd.
Well, like I say, when Mike Paradinas, and it really started taking like me and Fish seriously, and then that started leaking into that, and we crossed over. We've always been hardcore, but we leaked into that kind of Aphex Square Pusher stratosphere, and then that leaked back, and the crossover between like Planet Mu actually putting out quite a bit of fairly reputable hardcore stuff from different artists we'd never even heard of. So there was different crossovers going on. Us as DJs always were investigative, so always wanted to entertain new stuff. All right, it got a bit mangled, but you had to go to extremes to find how far was too far. I think also we got to that point. We got to that point where we'd done everything. It's like, okay, well, let's fucking try completely fucking berserk because we've done everything else, and the technology made the music that also enabled us to do that. I know Greg was totally fucking feeling that. He got muified as well. It's like the the same fucking thing. It's like, okay, we're now competent as artists. How artists can we art? You know, without trying to alienate anyone. But
it's a good point.
And that created these different kind of stratospheres. It wasn't just coming from the original rave scene and being a bit more sniffy and electronic pride and all that's for students. You know, there was these weird parallels going on, but to me, it was all still fucking hardcore, man. I was still just the DJ producer, you know.
That whole period,
just reminds you.
There was a big smush of stuff that happened. So, like,
totally.
Think about like early turned into millennium, right?
For sure, absolutely.
You've got like industrial UK sound in like Matt Green, Nat Traffic coming along. You've got French core coming over. You've got TM and fucking Micropoint and that Radium kick drum coming over at the same time. You got breakcore coming in. You got harder sounding stuff like fucking bikes, drum, etc. coming in. Everything just came in at once, and it kind of it was so
rotator and piece off, mixing all of those elements together. Exactly, so you had like rave based breakcore, and you're going, this is just fucking mental now. What's going on here? So
before we skip off Oblivion, I want to run a competition. So excuse me while I fucking punt my wares a second.
Go on in, punty. Punt away, punty.
So now is the time to punt this lineup. We've just changed the date on this, and it's the biggest lineup I've ever put together. So I'm going to run a competition right now, guys, actually. If you want to win yourself 2 VIP tickets, which include free drink, t-shirt, quick entry, all of the pre-party, everything, normally £45 each. All you have to do right now is share this stream on your social media platform. So I would prefer if you share the YouTube link. That's where we're collecting the likes at the moment and the views. Like the stream underneath and hashtag on your share the Oblivion show. And we'll wait for a minute while you do that. Nothing's going to happen in the next couple of minutes. So share the stream now, like the stream, and hashtag the Oblivion show. And while we're waiting for people to do that, I'm going to play a bit of music. So we've got a choice here. We've got a choice of TM or Micropoint. What are we saying?
Micropoint.
Okay, Micropoint, Noise Theatre. This is.
Fine, let's have some TM instead then.
I tell you, John, I think put the TM one on because it's got more of a build. I think it's a more unified moment.
All right then.
Do it.
All right, put TM on. Let's go.
Sorry, Greg.
Suck on this.
It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry that took so long. I went for a miss. Great tune.
Awesome tune. Everyone played that, right?
Yeah, man.
That's a classic banger. Absolutely classic banger.
I'm used to hearing it a lot faster, has to be said.
Plus 16, that shit.
That was Tim announcing himself, really, wasn't it? That final.
Yeah.
Totally.
So from there, where are we? We got Oblivion, Species, Dark Side, all on the scene. I'm a little bit lost here. Someone fill for me.
I feel for you, Joe. I feel for you, man.
Is there a shot?
Well,
there you go. No, 2004 era. That's the beginning of the crossbreed era. That's the year that Times Like These was made by DJ Hidden, and that's the year everything totally started blending and mishmashing. And yeah, that is sort of the more DNA tunes come into effect. That's the what are we talking? 2005? Is that are we hardcore heaven era? We post that DNA. Hardcore Till I Die. What time are we there? Is that are we in the mid 2000s then?
Early 2000s, I think.
Where are you, Joe? I don't know, mate.
I'm like 5 cans deep, and I haven't drank for 2 months.
I'm on the stick.
Yeah, fucking wire. Well, we could just waffle our way through the next like 25 minutes because I've really got to get here around about 11 o'clock, which is 12 o'clock your time. So,
right. Well, so
we've got 40 minutes to burn, mate.
All right. So yeah, you are right. To the end of that era, we've
I did think we're close, man.
That was totally that era. So we're coming to 2004 to 2009, and you are absolutely right. I'm going to jump straight back into some music because 2004 is when Crossbreed came onto the scene, and this is when DJ Hidden dropped Times Like These.
He's repeating everything I just said, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm not 4 cans deep, by the way. Love you, Joe.
You're reading my script.
He's taking over.
I haven't seen any goddamn script. I'm the fucking oracle, mate. Honestly.
Teleprompter's on the wrong screen.
That's why I am who I am.
Let's play it, man.
Too right.
If we are to survive, a new balance must be found. In normal times, evil would be fought by good. But in times like these, it should be fought by another kind of evil.
What a track.
Yeah, baby.
What a track is an understatement, right?
That was like, okay, everything's allowed now. That's like, okay, everything is allowed. And it was authentic as fuck, like actual drum and bass, actual full smelt hardcore. Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
this is everything I've been through the last 12 years, all in one tune, man.
Yeah.
Totally for years.
Yeah, we'd been mixing drum and bass and hardcore together for years. That's what we wanted. Yeah.
At that tempo, at drum and bass tempo, you know, that was the thing that just made it, okay, everyone can relate a bit more because the tempo's a bit lower, but it was such more power in the bass. You were going, fucking what, man?
Yeah.
That was
Ian Pensome says
stretched our heads a bit.
2004 was when hardcore started to die in the UK a little bit. I agree with that to a certain extent. It was a difficult period, 2004 to 2009. That was hard work. Really hard work, and that was one of the reasons why Oblivion had a little break during that period. It was fucking difficult in the UK, man. But for industrial,
it was just more back rooms, wasn't it? Really, during that period,
there was a lot of like, Raver Baby, Ravers Reunited, Uproar, all of that kind of stuff was happening then, wasn't it? But we did have some good stuff.
No, like single nights, really. Though it wasn't. There was, not the regular things that had come prior to that sort of thing, is it?
No, 2000.
I mean, for me, I think I started playing more in Belgium than I was in the UK around then.
Totally.
Like the Belgium scene was blowing up, and and there was all sorts of crazy happening over there and stuff. And like Simon said, it felt like the UK stuff was becoming almost going more commercial again, where it was just like promoters were just trying to keep these things alive by doing more commercial events almost.
To make it a bit more acceptable or accessible almost. Yeah, for sure. I do agree in that.
There was a lot of the bigger...
But we all felt a bit of that because it was like, well, when something's dying, what do you do? It like did feel a bit like... I didn't even know what it felt. Because again, like you, Greg, I was signed with 2005 with the Third Movement. I was already full flight in Europe, but like torn between doing the absolute bollocks every weekend there, and then the moments where you'd have in UK, it was like you'd hope for good, and sometimes it just kicked you in the nuts. It's like, fucking, it's not fair.
Yeah, and you were going to these gigs in like Belgium and stuff, and it had that kind of passion of the kind of 90s where people were going crazy again, and you really felt
a fire, watching a fire ignite, literally.
This is like the breakcore gives me wood kind of era, right? Like
totally, absolutely, for sure. For
people
sure.
were going nuts to music they couldn't even dance to. It was crazy.
Dance like you're selling nails, mate.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
For sure. So many
an era
things.
when like a lot of parties were having hardcore in the second room and not really financing it very well, and like there wasn't a good sound system for us and things like that.
I think that was like, more towards the end, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. But it was a difficult time. But some good stuff did come out of it. One of the good things that came out in this era for many people is Horizon. We'd like to give a shout to fucking Worm.
Absolutely, Chris Worm. Big love.
Fucking big passion, man. Big guy with a big heart. Fucking. And I'll let you speak on this, Sean, because you were fucking there all the time and you're tight as fuck with that crew. What a fucking thing he's done there. I mean, it went a bit more towards the happy hardcore side at some point, but it's undeniable that it's held a legacy in the Northwest, in Liverpool and Birkenhead for hardcore techno. Undeniable.
Well, yeah, and I'm very grateful that they welcomed me in as they did, because I was up there all the time. And for the main reasons that they're a bunch of good guys, put on really good parties, and their heart's in the right place. Do you know what I mean? Always treated me well, all of them. Girls and the boys. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's good to get such a good mix of the two, because it wasn't just all boys; it was girl presence too.
Yeah.
And thoroughly looked after, put on really good parties, and Worm did. I mean, he was good. I mean, to be honest with you, to put on good parties, you have to be on it. And I've kind of realised over time that the guys with good parties, the promoters are all built of the same kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And he's definitely one of those guys up there for me, and still is as a promoter. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I can't say anymore.
A real want to do it. A real want to do it.
Yeah, for real. Do you know what I mean?
It's not an easy job.
Fuck, mate.
Yeah, when the odds are stacked against you and you see it so often,
no,
it's
for
absolutely.
real. Do you know what I mean? When it was all
Totally,
going,
man. Fucking right on.
Pete Tong, he found a way. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So yes, I'm forever grateful for them welcoming as they did, and I had some really good times there.
Big up, man. Yeah, and fucking Birkenhead, what a niche little city for so much talent in terms of DJs to come out of, right?
Well, this is it.
Gary Gibb,
Gary Gibb, Tuggy, Liam Versatile, fucking. There's so many people that came out of there that are fucking bangers, mate. Like fucking pure talent.
Yeah, I mean, I met Tuggy when he
proper passion, man. Like really passionate people.
You know what I mean? And he kind of when I used to travel that far, he kind of took me back to his house, so I had somewhere to stay to catch the train back home the next day. Do you know what I mean? It's like properly looked after so far away. And
it's crazy.
They're passionate and it's a good group of people of talent. And so that kind of helps. That helps.
I remember coming out of a club in Birkenhead, walking out at whatever time it was, 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and looked up the high street or whatever it was, and there were just people fighting everywhere.
Just a normal night.
I was like, what is this? And there was like people just like all over the street, and then people hanging out of chicken windows and stuff like that.
Bedlam.
The war zone is like Lebanon or something, Beirut.
So shout to Birkenhead, man. Fucking
all the Birkenhead soldiers, man. Every single one.
Important part of UK hardcore history, man.
Yeah, and, I mean, not just as well.
They kept the fire burning, like properly.
How much
that's what Horizon
used to
was,
travel
man.
As well.
Yeah, everywhere
and stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like we were saying about 2004, hardcore started dying, but Worm was one of the people. He came in that era and he filled that gap and really tried his best to keep things going in that era. So yeah, big up, and Bombhead's in the chat as well. I like that, Bombhead lads.
Hey, I hope he's not naked. Me and him have been threatening to get naked all week, innit, Bomb? But sorry, mate. Just a couple of t-shirt changes, mate. It's all I could muster, man. Not drinking enough alcohol, boss. I apologise profusely, mate. Seriously.
Awesome. Also notable shout to Totally Lost It in this era. They did a lot in the Northwest. Ant reached out to Jay for some flyers, but he didn't get anything over, so I haven't got any flyers to show. But yeah, there's a lot of people from Manchester got into hardcore via the Happy Hardcore route through Totally Lost It, right?
And I played a few of those for sure, man. He like tried as hard as he could in the place where he was, and he had a few successes, and props to him, man. Totally.
Yeah. What else happened in this era? We had Glade Festival started.
The Weekenders, HGID in the Sun.
Yeah.
I've done so many weird. I've done so many.
You know it's coming, Joe. Did you manage to scan your suntan pictures?
Oh fucking hell, man! No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
You just mentioned Weekenders, didn't you? I missed that, but didn't miss that. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, depends where you want to go with that. But yeah. For sure, but again, like that same era, like sort of talking about 2007, I was fully in the heart of Europe for a long time. But yeah, things like Glade Festival and that started to show their face in UK, so it was like an alternate face of UK starting to possibly bubble again. That was like, oh fucking hell, a UK gig that like looks like it means it, and that's interesting. Okay, that's different.
Yeah, Glade was amazing,
and it was riding off the back of that idea of breakcore, hardcore. Everything was smushed together. You had people like Vexed playing, @𝐸𝐹𝐿 Twin playing.
Like, that's what I said. Bringing a bit of Belgium, bringing a bit of that here. But sort of putting it in that festival thing. It was like an offshoot of the weird part of Glastonbury to a degree, but Glade is a part of the Glastonbury festival anyway. So it literally was the offshoot of just the freaks and fucking hell. That just legitimized us all. And Square Pusher did play, and 𝐸𝐹𝐿 probably did, and loads of luminaries actually. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, me and 𝐖𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄 played after Venetian Snares in the like big techno thing last set, and that was
amazing,
insane.
That was amazing. I was there. That was amazing.
I remember.
I was astral.
I remember like when we got there, it rained so hard,
dude.
It was like a mud fest, and
I remember.
Is that the one that was cancelled halfway through?
Is this the one where
yeah, we got cancelled, but we couldn't leave because we were surrounded by 3 feet of water. It's like,
yeah, you couldn't get out, could you?
You can't leave. Let's just consume everything. Let's just go nuts.
So you had carrier bags taped around your legs, Greg, and I had to burn them off with a lighter when you were
asleep.
Yeah. Wow.
Not only that, Ash 𝐸𝐇𝐄𝐑 gave me a sugar cube when we got to the site, and I was like, what the fuck's in this? And then he told me what was in it. You can guess what was in the sugar cube, right? And then it started pouring, and then I realised I had to put my tent up.
It didn't happen.
I'm trying to put my tent up, coming up on acid hard. I'm trying to beat the peak here as it's pouring down with like Tesco bags tied around my legs.
Mate,
I mean, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, that's next level, brother. Glad you made it, mate. Yeah, dude. Test of strength, man.
Fuck me, man. I've got a correction. I think we called out 2004 times like these. I think it was 2006, but yeah.
All right, so
fuck it.
There you go. Sorry. All right, again, that blurry 2-3 years.
Yeah.
But again, sort of same year. Hell's Basement by TOA, which is also probably the second Crossbreed track, which does the slowdown. You know, that's fucking.
Sure.
That's mental. I put that on the Operation Obliterate CD for Audiogenic. That was full on. This is industrial. Let's go mental. With a little bit of breakcore at the end. So,
we've got Bangface around the time.
Yeah, Bangface
exactly. This is
2003 as well.
And there you go. Then that's just another wave of fucking hell! Look at that! Whoa, what's that?
So Bangface changed it again, didn't it? Because they went back to the old roots of having everything in one night in one room.
Exactly.
And it had been a long time.
No split, just everything. Jungle guy, then like breakcore guy, fucking kick drum guy.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what we needed because everything
set guy, it was
split and splintered.
For sure.
Yeah, in 𝐖𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄's words, big fuck off rave. That's what it
really was, yeah.
Yeah, full on.
We got Rigor Mortis started in 2006. Rigor Mortis, I think they well deserve a shout for the simple fact that they represent the extreme end of hardcore within the scene. Got a bunch of flyers here. Boom, 2006, Rigor Mortis. Based primarily out of the unit in Nottingham. Rarely would you hear a set under 200 BPM at Rigor Mortis. And as much as they polarize opinions in their approach sometimes, you can't not give them a shout. And has anybody played at that venue? It's fucking, what it used to be, the unit. Fucking crazy.
I don't know if Shane's still got that now.
No, Shane hasn't got it anymore.
No, I never
Crazy
played.
place. I know Ian's in the chat. He's a regular.
The only thing I remember about Rigor Mortis was their dance.
With the claw. yeah.
It was just like madness.
They're still going, and they did.
Yeah, some good guys all come out of that. They're still, they were really passionate about their scene, and there's some good guys that come out of that. So
we did a night with them. Yeah, he just came up right in time, as well. Yeah, nothing but respect for them. They stuck true to their values. Shane's a good guy, really dedicated to what he's doing, and like I say, Terror, Speedcore, they're your boys. They did, Danny Crash is saying blueprinting knots. They did the blueprint, but they did the unit as well, which was I think Shane held the lease on a unit on an industrial estate, and they did Speedcore and Terror there. So that was also going on in that era and still to this day. So shout to Shane and the crew. Again, some good people came out.
When did that come out?
Crazy.
2006.
Really, I thought it was before then. I'm quite sure.
2006. So you got people like 𝐷𝐇𝐄 came out of there. The Reaper, who went on to do lots of things in Europe as well. It's slightly on the edge of our world, if you like, as far as
sure. But every world has it. Every world has its extremes, doesn't it? And we got to that point where we had that much of a scene going in Europe. It created extremes. I was just thinking, okay, you're talking about 2006. Well, we got we talked about a ball rolling back from 1992. So if you go from then to then, just that, you know, that's like what, 8, 6, only 14 years. That's like how much evolution in that space. What the fuck went on there? Me and Simon started out going, fucking hell, we're the only kick drum guys. Oh my God. Let's just play together and fucking fight them all, man. Let's do it. Having certain DJs say you'll never fucking make a career out of playing that stupid kick drum music. You won't last fucking 5 gigs. We got told that. Yeah. Okay. Obviously about that, didn't we? But then you loop on forward. You can see how much it might have been an underground thing, but fucking hell, those that really took to it in UK fucking gripped on.
Yeah, but they're still listening to it 30 years later. You look at
exactly. There you go. It's like actual full scale history, man. Full on. It's that's a long time. That's not a fad.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
okay, so
it boggles the mind, dude.
Guys, man, shouts to Shane and the crew. So around 2007, we had this new branding, this new thing. We were called industrial all of a sudden. Well,
exactly.
Yeah, the European influence.
We suddenly got this tag, and UK hardcore fell under that tag. Everything that wasn't Frenchcore or Millennium, or it was everything that was the darker sounds fell under the industrial hardcore tag, or the industrial stage.
Dark and crunchy, or kick drums and breakbeats.
Yeah,
yes, exactly. equals industrial.
2007.
But actually, just take them and then bend those parameters any which way you want. Essentially, do what you fucking like again. Well, hey, that's all right, isn't it?
2007 industrial. Let's play some. Your
2007 in Europe was fucking strong, man. That was, I played a Thunderdome that year. That was fucking Signal 2007. That fucking, I felt something that year. Seriously, a lot of people do. Although, again, that was there, not here. You know, do it.
Something industrial. Tim on Psycho Killer.
Go get in.
Greg, he's gone. Greg, we've passed 100 likes on the YouTube. That means we have to have shots.
Oh, I didn't bring any shots. That's 6 beers.
I finally turned into what they've always said I was going to turn into. A maniac. A psycho killer. A psycho killer. A psycho killer. A psycho killer. A psycho killer.
And so, industrial. Shout to Ian Penson who's leaving. Also, shout to Sarah Kirby. Sorry we didn't go through the Impact stuff, but yeah, Impact 2002. Big up for that. Yeah, industrial.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all of that too. Totally.
We're kind of now in 2004 to 2009. We did that. We're rapidly approaching 2010. The only thing that really happened notably towards the end of this that I recall is obviously the ongoing parties from aforementioned Dark Side, Oblivion, blah, blah, blah. We had HTID in the Sun.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it until we get into like 2008 2009 when Boomtown starts. Boomtown is obviously...
Yeah, it started. Fucking hell, wow.
Yeah, and Boomtown's big.
I think I played them from the third edition. I think I played from the third edition. I'm pretty clear on that.
What was it called? Was that the
Junkyard?
Junkyard.
Yeah.
Scrapyard.
Yeah, Scrapyard.
That's it. Yeah,
absolutely.
That was serious.
Shout to 𝐷𝐿. Fucking hell. Whoa. That was an experience when that was booming before we had these sound restrictions totally annihilate us. That thing was mental. Oh yeah. So what? Yeah, you talking there? Yeah, that's like 2009. Yeah, that would be 8, 9.
I remember going to the first or second one and it was fucking huge, and I haven't been since. And now the pictures I see, it's just like, what the fuck? They've just like created another dimension.
Free extra. Yeah, it's insane, man. Properly otherworldly. Create a whole.
Dean Walsh is giving a shout to HDID in the Sun.
Yeah, that's the one. I saw that.
Yeah, right. It's got to be done.
Again, can we not talk about that, please?
I'm surprised you can remember much, Jed.
The thing is, like, I mean, we things like HTID and the Sun and those Weekenders. That's a different podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not for family viewing.
That's a podcast.
Sean's keeping it real.
Retired from work. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be employed ever again. Like, yep.
Next year, then, Si. Yeah. Next year,
I'm not far off, mind you. I'm not far off.
So Boomtown is carrying the festival torch for hardcore at the moment. You've got other events that have come up within more recent years. I guess we're talking 2010 to 2021 now. We're nearing the end of the journey, and
yeah, we are, man. I haven't got long left either. So this is an encapsulation now of where are we at.
Yeah,
where are we at? Where are we at?
The last 10 years is
kind of a great question.
I tell you what has happened in the last 10 years.
Well, we all spread out. It's spread out, man.
Everything's come kind of a little bit full circle in that a lot of the UK people are exported now or being exported more regularly. So the UK sound, like the UK hardcore thing, is actually become a thing in itself. Like, you look at the situation. I live here now in Europe. You and Greg. Well, Greg lives in Europe too.
Yeah.
You're both on Prospect, and Prospect is run by Gareth, who, by the way, is from the UK.
I've been frequently in. I've really been like going in and out of Europe hardcore for like fucking 23 years now. Since '98, really, with Manu, like the French invasion before I even got to Belgium or Holland. I was like north, south, east to west of France. So Europe definitely knew, but it's just like it sort of it fanned out, didn't it? And it spread out, and our music became validated, and then the world cottoned onto it. And we got onto those bigger labels that validated our sound even more than other artists got into it. It escalated to the degree where it is a recognised genre in its own right, and that's bonkers, man.
And that started itself in
that's incredible.
2010. You did the first release on Prospect Extreme, which was the start of the hardcore, the UK hardcore sound being, I don't know, fucking more.
I think it's almost like a next phase, isn't it, of its actual existence. It's made actual by another label, not in UK even, and yeah, dude.
And it was.
But then you had European kind of twists on it, so then it gets weirder again, and actually it's that's all we ever wanted, man, isn't it? You know, it's turned
there
into
was
kind of.
There was that DEF CON a few years ago, wasn't there? Where it was like there was me, you, Mike, Ash. I can't remember. There was a load.
There was Cobby, Fury.
It was like a UK invasion in the Netherlands. You know,
amazing. And that's totally. And that's amazing. That's like, wow, look what happened.
And there are people that that over here and around Europe and stuff that just love the UK sound. That UK,
but us as musicians, we fucking mean it. You know, we meant it back then. We've always meant it because we want to vibe off it. We know what a club looks like when it vibes, and we felt that from right back then. We know how it resonates, so it's intrinsic now. See, just to see it leak out like that is, it's like that mix of ultra violence with absolute euphoria. That to me is UK hardcore, man. Like Greg follows kind of where I wanted. It's all of that, and you get the variants within, and look at it. That is mental. You know, I always wanted back in the day, I just strived to have a set where you could have a set of just, kick drum tracks with breakbeats in. That was really kind of hard to achieve for a long, long time. Now it's like fucking the music we always wanted and didn't know it was coming, man. It is. So in that regard, the scene might have died, but the music fucking
people in the chat are saying we've missed some key events. Like,
it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen because I'm really sorry, dudes, but I have got to jump ship in 9 minutes, and that's the whole fucking fact of it. So we're bound to miss in 30 years. There's bound to going to be moments our rotting brains are going to miss out for sure, dude. Know it, man. Let's keep it real here.
Stop beating around the bush, Lucas.
Oh yeah, you know me. Shut up, Luke, and don't play the music this time, man. Come on.
So in terms of the UK though, we haven't forgotten about
there's things
the
I've
UK.
missed. Of course there's
we
made lists, guys, honest. We've poured over these lists, so there's gonna be shit we just fucking bombed out.
There is going to be some stuff. But in terms of the UK and events, there's still stuff going on. Another shout we need to make is Soldiers of Core. They're doing events in the UK, in Manchester, regular, doing solid lineups to this day.
We haven't even talked about the Bristol scene, man. Like how big the Bristol scene is and how strong that's been over the last 10 years.
Bristol been an absolute sustainer.
Yeah,
for all the undergrounds that no one else cares about, and like continually, even when it had no venues, it still did it. Nowhere else in UK.
Shout out to the Black Swan, right?
Totally. Shout out to the Black Swan. Shout out to the Mountain while it was there. Just all those crews. Fucking hell! Shout out to Fash, all of these guys. Ash about to do the fuck off rave. There is survivors there that they're a non-dying breed in Bristol, man. So watch this space. If
they run out of venues, they'd create a new one in Bristol.
Me living in Bath and Bristol being my first launch pad. There's nothing here in Bath because it's kind of just a pretty museum, but everything was going on in Bristol, and for as long as I can remember, it's been up, down, up, down, up, down. So it might have a down, but don't worry about it because it's Bristol, man. So outside of that, it's we wait to see what happens there for sure. But Black Swan got knocked down, it's now been rebuilt, so there's that there. Mike from Blue Mountain found another place that's there. They're ready to do bigger stuff when this nonsense is over, guys. Believe. So who knows?
I'm just going to prepare this so that if you leave at 11 I can carry on talking, because we normally do a Q&A at the end. So just bear with me a second. I'm going to play a bit of music just for a couple of minutes while I just sort this.
I need a break.
Yes.
You need a
let's go play.
Right, I'm going to play a tune that I've skipped, Bike's Drum, because somebody wanted this before.
If they're all going for a break, should I just say I love you all now and just fuck off?
I need to set it up so that when you leave it doesn't break.
You've got another.
Okay, all right, okay. So we'll have the break. You can get rid of me and then non-break it. Okay, all right, let's do that. Awesome. All right, guys, I love you all. Out. Can you still hear me, Joe?
Wait,
can you still hear me? Can you still hear me?
All right. So we come to the end of our journey with Luke anyway.
Lucas?
Thank you very much for once again putting up with my bullshit, internet. I love you all. Hope it's been an eye-opener to some degree. Hope we didn't talk over each other and I was totally audible and not distorted throughout the whole episode. So as long as that was a thing, then we're all right, aren't we?
Yeah, all good. All good. It's a pleasure having you on, Luke.
It's great being here. Great seeing all of you. I love you all. I miss you all. Let's press flash as soon as possible, yeah?
Yeah, man. Defo. Love you, Luke.
Kisses. Nice one. Out. Cheers.
Peace, bro.
See you later, mate.
Peace.
All right. So, mute your mic, Luke. He's gone. It's okay. So I've switched to emergency cam. This is so that we can allow for Luke not being there. I guess I can switch my camera as well. Sorry about this, chat, but you have to deal with it for a minute. We're opening for questions now, by the way. I think we've pretty much covered up to present day with regards to hardcore. So we're opening for questions for the chat. So questions for Scorpio, questions for DOLPHIN, questions for Ribbz, who in his lovely fluffy chair, or me. Just switch my camera to that and okay, should be able to see me now.
Yeah, we go.
Awesome. I'm going to kick Luke. Remove. All right. Cool. Right. So we're in questions and answers now. So any questions from the chat? John Pert says, how did the first back-to-back Scorpio and producer set come about, Sean? Simon.
Go on, Sean, how did it go?
Sean was pimping him out.
To be honest, when we were discussing this the other night, we were trying to think, like, we know it was on one of the Dance Planet flyers, but we're not actually sure whether there was a time before that, but we actually did a back-to-back as well, because quite a lot of the Dance Planets had a habit of not everybody turning up, so you'd end up playing more than once in the same night. So we're sort of half into did it happen before, but the first official one I think was sort of Detonator 5 or 6. So down at Cornwall Coliseum, that was the first one that we could find was billed. So it was a New Year's Eve, and yeah, we did it there. But we were both playing the back room a lot there, and so we've sort of got an inkling that it might have happened as an impromptu one beforehand, and then it happened for real afterwards. So yeah, Dance Planet was the first one.
Okay, I've got a question for you, Sean. What's your most memorable moment as an MC? Which stage did you stand on and went fuck? What? When was that?
Oh, bloody hell. Okay, I think if anything, there's going to be a memory of a universe party. I don't know how old you might have been when I did that. I can't remember. I think it might have been Tribal Gathering. It might be Tribal Gathering Party, and they basically had this stage set up where you walked down the middle, and then you had people either side and at the front, so you're like literally in the middle of the crowd. And I think that for me would have been an immense yeah, that would have been an immense feeling. But I mean, at that point, I'd done quite a lot of parties, but that would have been one of the big ones for me.
What year was that then?
92.
I
was in the crowd.
I don't know, you know. I reckon it's going to be something like. I'm having to refer to my slide. I think it'll be something like 96.
96.
I reckon. Yeah, because they stepped up. They just kept on getting better and better, bigger and better, and trying out.
Is that when they did the Luton one, Sean?
Oh no, it would have been. It was definitely Warminster.
What, tribal gathering with Mark Spoon and that night?
Yeah, they split. Then they had the whole demonic. They had this whole shamanic speech, and that's when I introduced the Prodigy. Yeah, I mean, I got given some serious props back then. You know what I mean? Introducing Prodigy and Bookham and Comrade and all this kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? I was your main host for the night, and then I just had to introduce all these other people, and then I'd fill in the gaps. Because most MCs didn't like MC into 4/4. Whereas I loved my 4/4. They liked the breakbeat and stuff because they could do lyrics and whatnot. They didn't quite know what to do with a 4/4 beat.
Yeah. For me, Sean, you were always like I used to love Bookham and Conrad, and for me, you were always like the Conrad of hardcore for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? You like just had this kind of like chilled flow that just kind of, for me, it was like the perfect like icing on the cake. You know what I mean?
He was a courier for your journey, wasn't he?
Yeah. It wasn't. You were never too much. It was never too in your face. It wasn't like crazy, blurry, drunky people just trying to scream on the mic. It just had this beautiful flow that, for me, like hardcore is hard, but it's always had this kind of vibe, and you complement that vibe, and that's what makes it so awesome. I think.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, I did relax into it. I mean, yeah. Thank you. I can't say much more, but thank you. Thank you.
You're lovely, Sean.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've got someone on there saying they've asked me like a question like why I wasn't on most. I didn't hear much from me from like 2004. I don't even think I can remember that far as to why. But I mean, I keep myself busy. Do you know what I mean? If things slow down in one area, I'm busy somewhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
do what you want to do, Sean.
Yeah, exactly.
Another question for you, Sean. What's your secret to eternal youth?
Well, I saw that question. Wait there, I'm going to show you.
Is it coconut oil?
Mr. Tones, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Right, Mr. Tones. This is it.
What is it?
Coconut oil.
I knew it was going to be coconut oil.
Every day. Every day
Awesome.
since I was this high.
There you go. And get yourself lubed up, mate. You need to send him a jar. Send him a jar.
so many uses for coconut oil, right?
Yeah.
I keep it on my desk. Do you know what I mean? So the first sign of dryness is out.
John Pert saying, do you think it was better when you had different styles in one room, like the Technodrome with hardcore, trance and acid techno, or one room, one style? Oh, difficult question.
I'm all for mixing it up.
I think mix
nice
it
to
up
have that journey too, where it flows and changes. And
and it's nice to listen to other styles because if you just get one ram down your throat, you want to listen to stuff and go, fucking hell, what's that? You want to be shocked and surprised.
I got a good example of that in more recent years, and admittedly it was all hardcore. But when we did the Narnia night for Emma. That was like all of the UK crews coming together, but it was all the different styles of hardcore, and it held the room all night. And it was fucking
change
I want to do more of that again. So keep your eye open.
The thing is, with the genres now, there's so much of it. You can do a whole night of a genre, and it can change all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much of it. Do you know what I mean? The only problem I see, and the thing is, you kind of put your sensible head on. The only problem I see nowadays is that if someone don't like something, they're not hanging around for an hour.
That's the festival curse, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know
it's
what I
like
mean?
where you've got so much that you can go and see. If they don't like it, they'll just fuck off straight away and go somewhere
It'd be
else.
nice if they just took the rough with the smooth. You know what I mean? The peaks and the troughs.
Gave it a
handled
chance.
The whole lot. But they don't do that now. It's like they'll leave and go and do something else, and you've lost half your crowd then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks to Cam saying, Joe, check your scene. Yeah, I fucked up there. Sorry about that. Because Luke decided he had to leave at 11. I had to fucking bodge this scene together. What happened to Squidgy B, says Dean Allman. Squidgy B is still Squidgy B. Yeah, shout to Jason, man.
If you could see through my window, he lives just down there on the right. He's fine.
Send some love, Si.
I will do.
Any more questions in the chat for anybody? Someone saying, first time I met Greg at Hysteria Northgate Arena, Chester. After his set, I asked if I could have a quick flick through his record box. Fucker looked at me like I'd asked him to borrow 15k. Can I have a look through your record box, mate?
No.
Come on, there's 94 people in the chat, man. Just type your words. Let's hear what you got.
Well, the thing is, I think they're out of questions because they know us. Do you know?
Yeah.
They
already know the answers.
They know the whole lot already. Do you know what I mean?
What was the last rave that you hosted, Ribbz?
Oh, bloody hell. The last rave I haven't actually been out to host any raves as such. Do you know what I mean? I've hosted a couple of virtual parties, and my next rave is on June the 26th. Which is the Saturday after they've eased the lockdown. So that's getting in quick.
We didn't give a shout to Chapel, actually. Chapel's been running for the last 3 years and doing some good little parties. So shout out to Ali. Big up, man. Lots of passion.
Okay, there you go. So that would have been my last proper hardcore rave. Would have been a Chapel of Chaos.
Yeah.
That would have been my last hardcore rave. Outside of that, it's mainly like house, tech house, or techno nowadays.
John Pert said,
and he was at Narnia, Joe.
Yeah,
go on.
It was Narnia was a good one, man. John Pert says, how does it feel to have the DJs you grew up listening to on your shows and book them for your events? Honestly, I feel honoured. I feel honoured to hold these guys in a regard as friends. If you look back through the stories that we tell and through my history, I grew up with these guys as my heroes, and to have these guys as my friends now is like, it's beyond words. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. Question for Greg. Even after all these years of being a DJ, is there an event you've still got on your bucket list?
I think the only one really, because I guess Thunderdome was the big one. But yeah, I guess the only one really on my list now, I guess, is Club Raw. That's the only one of the really famous ones, or the ones that I've kind of always thought I'd really love to play that.
Where's Club Raw?
Holland, Burrows Night, yeah.
Yeah,
P90. P90.
There's an interesting question from Kimchi, actually. It says, a serious question. It says, how did the UK hardcore scene deal with like fascists, or the kind of like, I guess, kind of more right-wing elements within their ranks? Was it a problem in the early years or later? Because in Germany, it was a problem, and it partly still is. But we didn't really have that, did we, in the UK? We didn't.
I think the main problem was it was football hooligans more than racism, right? That was one of the earlier problems.
Abroad, you mean?
No, in the UK, because you weren't allowed to wear football tops to a lot of raves. Yeah. That was the only.
I don't remember ever being a strong. That's why you got into it, was because it wasn't that sort of.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Well, Sean, did you ever experience anything like that?
Well, no, I didn't. Not in any of our parties.
Yeah.
I can't honestly say I did. That's a good point. I'm just trying to remember, because there was a spout of skinheads and stuff, but it weren't.
That was just Antones.
But it weren't. I think it was. I think it might have been just one of those appearance. They appeared that way, but they weren't actually that way.
It got tarred with that brush, didn't it? You know, there was a lot of it, and they didn't even realise. You know, you got the lofty Daily Star incident.
You remember that article in the fucking in the newspaper? Was it in the Star or something? Nazi Gabba Hell or something like that.
Yeah,
and they're talking about DJ Loftgroover. Like, fuck off, mate. What the fuck?
Yeah, do your research.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember any, to be honest. It's like, you know, and how could you know, you can't even say that. Look at the people in the scene. You know, you've got Lofty, you've got H, you've got Sean. There were so many integral parts of our scene that, you know, it wasn't ever an issue. I don't think.
No,
you know,
it wasn't, no.
Not that I ever saw. No.
But that, you know, right the way through, I don't think that's what made the rave scene different. It wasn't about, you know, who you were, what colour you were, where you were from, how much money you had, or anything.
I got more racism off an OAP walking down the fucking high street.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Interesting the contrast though with Germany and the Netherlands and stuff, where it's been a bit more of a problem over
I think the UK scene's quite unique in that though. It's built off the back of like the rave scene and the acid house scene. It's a completely different background. It's
built off Fuckwits and the Misfits that didn't fit into anywhere else, and they all became friends.
That's why I got into acid house. Period, because of the mixture. I mean, I grew up in a sound system culture, and it's predominantly black. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you didn't get that. You had like one or two white people in it as such. And then acid house came about, and then I was just like, "Right, check out that. That is proper multicultural. I'm going there." So that's why I gravitated in that direction.
Good question, man.
Yeah.
For everyone saying "fuck the Daily Star," yeah, shout. What made Ribbz become an MC?
Well, I actually want to be a DJ, and
you are a DJ.
Yeah. You are a DJ. You're a good DJ.
Well, initially I started out as a DJ, and then I got the rave thing. I got into the rave thing, but I kind of fell into the MC thing on a top level. I mean, I kind of got into MCing at the top from the very beginning, so I didn't have to work up, and I enjoyed it basically. And then I mean, like I've been scouting through it, and some people are going out saying that I should give shouts out to Robbie D, which I always give shout out to Robbie D because it's him that gave me the mic. Do you know what I mean? When I went on the stage at that point. It just made more sense at that point because there's so many jocks just to stay as an MC. So I did. So that's why I did.
Any other questions? Good ones. According to his Raving Eye interview, Ribbz started MCing because an MC didn't turn up and he was DJing at the time. Wasn't that when we were talking about fucking Easy before?
Oh no, that was I got
different.
no, I didn't. That wasn't why I got into MCing. I think it might have that. I've got to check the Raving Eye because I might have that. But the reasons why how I got into MCing was because if you really want to know, do you know what I mean? It was a New Year's Eve, yeah, and I got fucked over by somebody, and I was in a bad way. I had 6 pills in my pocket, do you know what I mean? And I had a backstage pass. I went on stage, popped the pill, stole the mic.
Yes, mate. Yes, mate. My man.
So that's how it happened. But it turned out that I did such a good job that Fantasia and all those people wanted me to come back and do more. So
fucking hell, mate. 6 pills. Here we go. Fucking easy. Good shit, man.
So that's how
that was just to start the night, Joe.
Just getting warm.
6 drop.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that answered your question. Sorry, Mum.
It was a long time. It was a long time ago. It's okay.
Yeah, I've changed.
Right, we're gonna do a couple more questions and then we're gonna wrap up. So get them in the chat now. Greg, are some of your hard trance sets at Steam and Skelter are legendary? Do you still play it?
No, not what, like 90s hard trance. No, I don't. All my vinyl's still at my mum's in Wales, and yeah, like
Oh, don't tell Leighton that. He'll go and fucking have it.
He runs out getting done for that.
One day I'm going to get the vinyl collection over here, and then we'll see. But yeah, it's still nice. Like I did that 4-hour set at Worm and played everything right across the board and stuff. So it was nice to dig out some different kinds of tunes and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of 90s trance is 90s trance now, and it's only when you're really doing kind of old school tribute-y type things that you'll dig stuff like that out, I think.
Yeah. Question for all: where do you see the future of the scene going? Ooh, that's a big question. Is it a big question that's difficult to answer? I think we're all on a slightly, well, Greg and I are on a similar trajectory, but you guys are on a slightly different trajectory in itself. I think the UK scene, I think, needs a kick up the ass. I'm hoping that the
post-apocalyptic
the post, I'm hoping that the post-apocalypse is kind, and we don't see what we've seen in the past, especially in the UK, with a lot of people trying to run nights and not doing it very well, oversaturating the market, and therefore not succeeding, and lots of people losing lots of money and ending in a dip. I hope that doesn't happen. I've certainly got some ideas for the UK that I would like to execute. We've got the big Oblivion thing coming up, and hopefully some other things as well. So I'm staying positive for that. And as far as the worldwide scene, it's not going anywhere. It's going forward. I think, if anything, hardcore music's stretching its legs now, especially after this break period where a lot of producers have gone away and started making stuff that they wouldn't normally make because they don't need to make it for a dance floor. So you're going to see on the back of this is a lot of people come in with a different approach to hardcore music. That's my opinion anyway. And I know Greg, for a fact, Greg's actually been working on some different stuff. So I know that you're probably aligned to that, Greg.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, a lot of people I know have been doing all sorts of different stuff now. It's time to kind of stretch your wings a little bit and, just try some interesting stuff, see what works. And hopefully, there's this saying that's banging around in business world at the moment that we're not going back to the office, we're going forward to the office. And hopefully we're going to be going, rather than just going back to clubs, we're going to go kind of forward into them, kind of go with a fresh perspective after clearing the decks, and hopefully have a bit more. I know Gareth and the Prospect crew are kind of like, they've cleaned decks as well, and they're like, we're just going to do the music that we love now. We're not going to pigeonhole ourselves, and as long as we think it's great music, we'll release it and we'll promote it, and we'll try and do nights that incorporate that sort of stuff. So hopefully we'll be going into a bit more open-mindedness after all this.
Sean, any music in the works?
For myself, well,
yeah,
I've been focusing on techno a lot recently since lockdown, and before the lockdown, I was kind of winding down the hardcore thing anyway, as such. Do you know what I mean? So I'm moving. I mean, I'm moving in a techno direction at the moment. I'll be out 1 or 2 hardcore gigs, but I think it's time for that for me to move on and leave that alone. Now there's a couple other people moving in to champion that position, so just let them get on with it. I think
we'll still drag him out.
Yeah, I'll get that every now and again.
But I need to have a chat with you after. Forgot about that. and Simon, you're
Birkenhead boys around.
Simon, you're starting to make more tracks. I think we've got a release coming out with 𝐷𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐿. You got some other stuff coming out.
Ant's given me some schooling. I know he's been speaking to Greg, and Greg's been giving it to Ant, so thanks, Greg, because it's getting past now. I'm trying to play catch up and that, but so Ant's doing some serious stuff at the moment, and he's been very forthcoming in his help, so it's been really good. So awesome. There's the Samurai Way will hopefully be out in the next few weeks. Really, me and Ant need to, after we get this out of the way, put our heads together and get that on a release schedule. So
nice. Looking forward to some new stuff.
I know you played it on the show the other week. Thanks for that, Joe. And fingers crossed.
Good tune, man. Fucking good stuff.
Yeah. A positive outcome to all the shit that we've all been through for the past sort of 16 months or whatever. So.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We'll be fucking fine. We did this because we love it, not because it's going to fucking break us because we can't
exactly.
do it anymore. It's not like we're going to stop doing what we love. So
people said you wouldn't be doing it 20 years ago, so nobody listened then.
No, exactly.
It's actually quite good just to see where you guys are at now. Do you know what I mean? After meeting you when you were so young. Lots of playing over in Europe, and just to see your names on those lineups puts a big smile on my face. Do you know what I'm saying?
I actually went to Thunderdome last year.
Oh, Si, I was so happy.
Me and Simon were dancing to Greg's set.
I don't think Jennifer was going, and then literally I'd seen Joe on the way in. And then we were hooked up for your set, and it was quite nice. Just looking at, going, fucking hell, look at him here, and I was buzzing for you, mate.
That was amazing, man. I was looked up, there's just this sea of people, and I saw you and Joe, a few rows back. Wow,
it was center.
It was
good
amazing.
Times, man.
That was
fucking good times.
Yeah.
Layton 𝐖𝐈𝐋𝐿 saying, I'm coming out of retirement after the lockdown. Any bookings, Joe? First of all, you cheeky cunt. And second of all, yes. I love you, Layton, bro. I know you won, and you know why. No worries, I'll sort it. One more question, and then we're going to wrap up. A good one. Come at us, chat. Still got 70 people watching us on YouTube, and about 30 on Facebook too. We've held solid numbers all night tonight. I think we had like 200 people tuned in at one point, which is nice. Any more questions?
It was really good. It's nice to catch up. We'll have to do it for real soon, guys.
For sure. Earliest opportunity, mate. I'm on that. John Pert saying, listening to you guys over the years has dragged me through tough times, so I'd like to say a massive thank you to you all for it.
Oh.
Cheers.
Big up, John.
Cheers, John.
Yeah,
John sent me a record actually the other day. I'm foolishly decided that I'm going to try and collect all the Def Chant back catalogue that I haven't got yet, like most of them. So it's going to cost me a fortune. So I told him I was after one, and he's like, I've got that. And he sent it to me for free. It's worth fucking €40 or some shit. Thanks, John. And he's like, oh, thanks for all the Oblivion shows. I really appreciate it. And this is my way to say thanks. Top lad, man.
Oh,
respect, John. Yeah. What is the best party? This is a good question for the last question. What's the best party each of you have played? Greg, you can go first because I want to think about it.
Best one in recent memory is probably Thunderdome.
Awesome.
Just because it was a milestone kind of thing. I've talked about it before, but over the years, I mean, there's so many, like the first Skelter and things like that, and so many amazing moments. But it's like saying what's your best film. It's like impossible to. It's a difficult one
for me.
Too many really good ones that you couldn't actually separate. And go, that was the one.
So many I can't even remember.
I think for me, my favorite was probably playing at Fuck Parade. The first time I played there, when I started playing on the truck, we were on the last truck. It was the year before you came for the Oblivion one, and I started playing, and the guy before me was playing breakcore, and we were on the last truck in the line. And if you remember, Fuck Parade's fucking massive. There's like I don't know, 100,000 people there. There was about 20 or 30 people behind the truck when I started, and I'd played a set on another truck further up where I played like Terror and Fast Hardcore, and then I came to the last truck and I started playing Industrial, and I started playing, and on the second track I looked up and we'd come round a corner and there was about 5,000 people behind the truck, and I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, just like completely mind blown, like almost crying playing. It was that good. So that was mine. That was mine.
I mean, just to follow on from that year, the year after that, where we did the Fuck Parade.
Oblivion Fuck Parade. Yeah,
that was like you just said it. I mean, you looked at the truck and there was
it's just a sea of people,
behind you, just walking and dancing and stuff like that. And then we did Japan.
Yeah.
And like Japan was such.
Japan was also a really good gig, man.
That was a crazy gig.
Now you've got it, yeah.
Japan was really small. It was like a tiny club, but there's like just rammed with really passionate people just losing their fucking brains. Like
you wouldn't expect it, man. They were headbanging so hard in front of the decks. I thought their heads were going to come off. It was insane till 6 o'clock in the morning, and playing 𝐊𝐇𝐄𝐑 playing like a proper 90s speedcore set to finish the night off, and everyone went mental. It was everyone was so drunk as well, and it was
brilliant.
Happy times, man.
Japan.
Hey, Tom's in the chat. Easy, Tom. What about you, Simon? Best gig?
I don't know if I could really even separate them. You know, it'd be insulting to another gig to say I've had so many that have been up there, and you know, Sean will know we've stood together and he's looked around and gone. Do you get what I mean? It's like to turn around and go, no one gig. You couldn't separate one gig out of 30 years of parties. They've all elements. Even the smallest down to the boat party in 𝐊𝐇𝐈𝐒 with 70 people on the boat or whatever has got an element that is up there, but there's others you can't separate it. There's too many little stories that go on in the background.
Totally.
Do you get what I mean?
And then someone says, what about that one? You're like, oh fuck exactly. That one's the best one.
There's always people with better memories than us. That's the problem.
Or Dean.
I can't put a if I was going to name any parties, it would have to be like a sound system party from back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Where I used to have a sound system, and I put on my first party with my mates, and we had about 500 kids my age playing and we were playing old school hip hop and reggae and soul and all that kind of stuff. So that, if anything, it's going to be the memory for me. But outside of that, I can't really name any on the. I'm not going to name any on the rave because there are too many.
Yeah.
I've had good times at after parties and good times at small clubs, good times at big parties and stuff. So yeah, I'll be the same as Si. It'll be a bit of a disrespect. I feel like I'll let someone down. So
Daddy's not got a favourite.
He can't remember. Just basically, I can't remember, guys.
Whatever.
You've let it out now.
All right, I'm going to close the show. I'd like to say thanks to you guys for coming on. It's a real honor. I know we're friends and all, but I hold you in high regard. So thanks for coming on and doing this. We really appreciate it. So big up.
And not just that. I mean, the scene, we wouldn't be where we are without you guys.
Absolutely.
You're in the frame here.
I know, but I absolutely mean this. You guys have had such an instrumental part in pulling the scene along, getting people involved in the music, and the people that are in the chat and listening to this music are here because of years of the stuff we've done. The encouragement that we've kind of
hearing you on tapes when they were in school and being inspired by you guys. You think about how important that is, man. You guys, man.
I know the amount of people. I remember that guy Plague, that the speedcore guy come over for one of the Norths.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I used to listen to you and Producer when I was walking to school in Canada when I was 14. And you're like, what? You know what I mean? It's like the amount of how far and wide those tapes got.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? It's like, but I still sit there and it's, I'll go back to Thunderdome, walking in there and seeing Greg kicking fuck out the place all these years later is you get a bump for you seeing how far you've gone, and mate, you're primed to take it to such a next level, even where you are now. That's the future.
Yeah. So, bless you, Si.
Respect,
but, it's taken all of us to do this, hasn't it? We've all played our parts.
It's a big ecosystem. Everyone's got their own role, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think we need to give props to you, Joe, for pulling this together, dude, and all the organising and.
I can't take full credit.
Timelines are right. The flyers.
It's got a very good team behind.
I accept. I'm not taking all the credit. I accept your flowers, but I'm a team guy. I won't take the credit for myself. I'd like to thank Cam, Greg, obviously, all of the Oblivion crew, Ant, Dean, Ian Pensum, Jed, Greg's sister Ali, fucking Paul Bonesy, fucking Mr. Wild, Paul Ursa, Booney, Al Twisted, everybody that sent me flyers and content. Fucking, I've been chasing everybody, mate, and like that's what I kind of do. I'm good at connecting the dots. So,
yeah, but you're doing very well.
Well, thank you very much. But I'm
Clap.
I'm a product of everybody else's abilities, honestly. So, thank you to everybody else. I won't take all the credit. I refuse. So. But thank you for the flowers. Thanks to everybody for tuning in to another edition of your favorite show. We haven't got an outro today. There's no something different because Greg didn't do it.
Oh shit!
So
I had one job.
I had one job. It's the end of the show. So peace out. Thanks, everybody.
Love you guys. Thanks,
Love
everyone.
you all. Peace. Take care, guys. Bye.
Later.